Oh, can you hear us now?
Let's try again.
How about now?
Try now, Hollyhawks.
Can you hear us now? Oh, can you hear us?
They most definitely can hear us now. They can
you
definitely
hear
hear
us?
us now.
Yeah.
Good. What's up, Jorge Lopez?
There we go.
Yeah.
Vin and Sori, 2018.
What, 2018?
Yeah, I don't even know why Simon just said that, but it's so funny because in the review I said that. I'm like, here we are, 2018. It's very interesting. Our room is bugged.
It's very possible.
That would be so creepy.
Where's Alec? We're on,
and
fool.
embarrassing. Hi, Leah.
Is that Leah?
Yeah, we loved your review.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. That was such a good
Vin
review.
was smiling the whole time.
That was a good one.
Thanks, Pital. Hey, Taylor. Hi from Massachusetts. What's up, Firebird?
No doubt, Joseph.
Don't
How's your
ask
Friday?
us.
Don't ask.
It's been hell, but you know what? It's
Don't
wait a minute. On the review we just put out, didn't we list it all off?
I don't. No.
Fear Factory?
No, the one we just posted.
Is where I listed off all the stuff that happened today?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think I said it on the first
Fear
one.
Factory one. Who knows?
If you watch the Fear Factory thing, I fill you in on all the details of our day.
Today was a.
If I don't
disaster.
say it on the Fear Factory one, then watch the main stage tomorrow.
I need to do a fireside.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not just hanging out with you, sorry. I got to get some actual people.
Mm-hmm. Hi from Massachusetts. What's going on, Mr. Massachusetts? Hi from Canada. My wife is watching. She wants you to check out Demon Hunter. Yeah, we've got to do Demon Hunter pretty soon here. We definitely do. Yeah, the next one's going to be a rock. It's going to be metal. It's going to be... I'm going to keep it. That's enough.
What? I had to do something really scary, and Vin started playing your review before the scary thing took place, and then I was like, it kind of chilled me out. I was like, oh, Leah, okay, I'm okay.
When are y'all going to do more Mastodon? We need to. We've only done one Mastodon song, so we definitely need to do more, for sure.
Sorry, you like the hardcore... KZ. Hardcore punk vice. Yelling without the growl, I guess. KZ, did you say that it was your wife? Or your girlfriend? Or are you like an uncle? I don't remember what you said.
Thanks, Venomous Dragon. I appreciate that. We just did Typo Negative. We did that like 2 days ago. Will that be coming soon? I don't know if it's coming soon. I do not know if
your
that's
wife?
coming soon.
Oh, that's cool.
Motionless in White. People have been telling us we gotta listen to Motionless in White. That's got to be on the mega short list.
Well, welcome, Andrew.
Thank you, sir. Welcome. I watched it not knowing he was a Christian. Wow.
I had a really good friend whose name was Andrew.
Watched what? Not knowing he was a Christian. Hey, from Belgium. What's up? Any chance for a Persephone reaction in the future? Persephone, sure. I've never heard of them before, so.
You haven't?
Yeah, I got to talk to Head from Corn. That was a pretty awesome experience.
We got to talk to Head from Corn. Look at you trying to take the whole thing. Yeah, I did. Me.
Whoa, I've been here
story.
Since your guys' 10th video. I'm a huge fan. I'd love to meet you guys one day. Whoa, Ellie Mink. That's pretty crazy. 10th video. That's amazing. Thank you. Mars Volta.
What month was that in? This is me testing to see if you really were here since the 10th video.
I don't even... Oh, okay. I have a good idea.
Yep. Go ahead. I'm waiting. Mm-hmm.
What's going on, M Death fan?
Oh, you did, Anthony? Whoa. You just got done watching it?
Got done watching what?
Who was the person that said that they've been here since 10? What was their name?
Ellie Mink.
Okay. I'm waiting for his answer.
Because our Behemoth reviews, yeah.
Oh, really, Turtle?
I know Head is definitely an important person to me too, man. It was definitely a really cool experience to talk to him. Whoa.
Oh, really? The original?
Amon Amarth. We gotta do Amon. There's so many.
I'm trying to remember. I have a bad memory. Sure, you do.
Yes, Overshadow Sean. Give me a title of a non-popular Metallica song.
So what did you think of the kiddie pool?
The kiddie pool. That sounds very familiar. Were we talking about that?
The only thing that I know, because the Metal Elitist had the kiddie trigger or something like that. Like,
No,
that's why that's in my head.
My first video was your first video. I know, Leah. Leah, you're really, really like OG.
How did you find us, Leah?
How did you find us, Leah? It may be possible that question was asked, KZ, and wasn't, probably something that they would want published publicly. What?
I don't even know who that is.
What? I came here after thy artist murder. David Silvera.
Silvera? Who's that?
He's the original drummer. For sure. Thank you, Roger. I was searching for Slipknot reactions. Yeah,
Jeez.
That's how we found Leah. Are you against Christian metal bands? No, we're not against Christian metal bands. I feel terrible.
I know.
I think there's like a real perception that we don't want to do it. So this guy messaged me on Instagram one time, and so we're talking, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm in a band," and it turned out to be, I forgot the name of the. Oh gosh, this is terrible. I'm like digging myself more in a hole. Well, he turned out to be a drummer of a I think Impending
what was
Doom.
The name? Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was Impending Doom. He's like, "I love what you guys are doing, yada yada yada," and I was like, "Oh yeah, man, people are asking for you." He's like, "You guys aren't going to do our stuff," and
here you are.
That was 2 months ago. We still haven't done it, so I'm a terrible person. You should check out Ghost of Perdition by Opeth. You hear that? We should check out Ghost of Perdition.
Really? Perkanos? I don't know. Whatever. I don't know how to read these names very well. I found you guys through one of the Behemoth videos, even though I hate Behemoth with a passion. Then why did you click on the video?
Because it said Christians react to.
Oh. You wanted to have a reason, more of a reason.
Perfect circle. Got to do more.
Yeah, sorry. Fourth
The
dimension
Chariot.
by hypocrisy.
Hey, KZ, what song from The Chariot, KZ?
Wait a minute. Black Label Society? What is it? Black Label? Is that
Black
a band?
Label is Zach Wilde's band, I'm pretty sure.
My brother used to have a shirt that said Black Label on it, and I was like, "Is that a beer? What does that shirt mean?" He wouldn't tell me though.
Tell me how I can condemn you.
I was so judgy at that time. Yeah, exactly. I was like, "So what's that shirt all about?" But he knew.
Ghost of Perdition. Ghost of Perdition. Black Label is also Scotch. So we're all like happy with each other.
Oh, it's a skateboarding company. He wasn't a skateboarding at the time. He told me that it was alcohol, but I didn't believe him.
Well, it's Scotch. It's
yes,
also Scotch.
I know, but I just had a feeling that he wasn't going to just walk around with some shirt like that, because I didn't think my father would let that slide.
So, I'm not a Christian, but I love hearing opposing beliefs, and your interpretations of songs really do the job. Keep it up. Dark Side of the Moon analysis was amazing. Thank you. We put a lot of hard work into that. I know we were late on it.
Which one?
Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh, I know, yeah. Babe, what, why are you saying Ghost Perdition thing? What?
Ghost of Perdition. I'm pretty sure Ghost of Perdition we listened to, and then we couldn't listen to it anymore. Tesseract. Yes, I do want to listen to Tesseract.
Oh, you mean we started it and hated it, so we shut it off.
I'm sorry about what happened to your vehicle. I guess you did say something about the car.
Okay, it wasn't that one. Yeah, I listed off all the stuff. Yeah, I know. I'm really hoping that, like when you buy a vehicle and you can get like that extended warranty, we got one of those, and I'm like hoping that extended warranty covers all the stuff. Otherwise, it's going to be thousands of dollars. Oil everywhere. Yeah,
That's like the most highly requested Opeth, Slow Death, Ho Breath song. That's funny. Leah really doesn't like Opeth. That makes me happy. Thanks, Josh. I appreciate it.
I have never listened to Stairway to Heaven. I've heard of it, but I was heard like that was like the worst song that you could ever listen to because it like, I don't know, something about Satan when you play it backwards or something is what I heard. So
whoa, Dina.
I've never heard it.
Dina, you're in Palestine. Thank you.
What?
Dina.
What? Babe, where? Oh, right here?
Yeah. She's a Palestinian.
Oh. Cool.
Have you listened to Freebird? No. Is that a band?
I always thought the name Stairway to Heaven actually sounded really beautiful.
When are you guys doing another song? We're working on some metal shit.
I have one. I just need Vin to sit down and do his part with me. Are you going to?
What do you think of cryptocurrency? I feel like cryptocurrency is one of those things. It's like it's either going to be like the greatest thing ever and I missed it, or it's going to be the worst thing ever and I invested in it. So that's why I'm like stuck when it comes to crypto. I feel like I'm going to lose either way.
Yes, lamb sauce. He got a haircut.
I feel like I'm going to lose either way. You listen to a bunch of songs about Satan played forward. Why worried about what they sound like played backwards? Well, that was her back in the day.
Back when I was living at home.
That is funny, though. You listen to a bunch of... What's up, TJ? That's dope. Thank you, Alfonso Diaz.
Greetings.
Greetings, sir. Rock and roll. Freebird is classic rock. It's a decent song with some good guitars at the end. Okay.
Stand and feel your worth. Thrice puts that out. That's interesting sounding.
I didn't get a notification.
I don't know, Pony. I even put out a live video and sent it so it would notify people.
I know. YouTube is against us.
Yeah.
Life is bad because it's my anniversary and I'm watching YouTube.
Why are you watching us on your anniversary? Catch it tomorrow.
But we're the morons? Satanic songs played backwards are Christian.
Sorry, what was going through your mind when you two did the video with Head? I'm still like in awe of the whole thing. It was, thank you, Samuel. It was a really cool thing
Samuel,
because
appreciate it, buddy.
I know this is really terrible, but the big thing that was going through my mind over and over and over that I had to basically tell my mind to stop was I need to friggin' know what that blanket is because I want one. Seriously, I could not stop thinking about that blanket. But anyway, once I was able to get past the blanket, which I never really got past it, but like I kind of did, I was thinking about like what an awesome moment that it was for Vin. And I've heard about Korn like for years, but like never really heard any of their stuff or really knew who they were. And then I kind of heard about Head like becoming a Christian. And I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, like maybe the whole band, like what's going to happen? This is amazing. But I didn't like think too much into it. And then Vin, when I met him, like he always talked about them a lot. And so like for me, I was like, it was like, like you guys go to a reaction channel to watch people react. Like I was kind of like watching Vin with Head because I knew it was a huge moment for him. And so that was cool. And it was cool hearing, I never heard of like, or at least I don't remember hearing about like, when Head was saying how hard of a time he was having at that point in his life, and then Vin happened to be at one of his shows, and then Vin is like far from God at that time, but like sees him and like starts praying for Head, and like just like wow, like that, I don't know, that was just crazy to me, like that, the way that whatever. No, you know what the blanket was? It was lamb. It was lamb fur. Is that what they call it? I don't think that's what they call it. But it wasn't
fur?
like wool. You know, wool is itchy. It was like, you know, if you actually skinned it. And I'm not a vegan yet, so.
Thank you, Mr. Diaz.
But
Vin,
it
do you
was so
think
fluffy.
Christianity will live on forever, or will it disappear because the number of Christians have dropped considerably? Well, I get that question at least once every live stream, and I keep reiterating. Christianity is declining in the West, but in China it's exploding. So much so that the government has to take steps to try to quell it. So I don't think Christianity is fading. I just think Christianity is fading in the West.
Kiss God of Thunder. Off Kiss Live 2 album. That would be cool.
Did you ever listen to
I do
Heads
wanna
First
hear some
Solo Really
Kiss.
Save Me From Myself? I don't know if that was the name of the actual record. It was the very, very first one. Yes, and I actually made reference to that in the interview because I thought that was like old school Korn because they were going off on like really weird stuff, especially like that 7th record. Weird.
David Hernandez. What I don't know. There's a significant amount of patrons, so I don't know people by name. Like some I do if they talk to me a lot. So I don't know if you're a patron, but if you are. If you like scroll down our list of posts, we actually did the personality test on Patreon. I don't remember my score, so I couldn't tell you.
Oh, that's right. Whoa, that's pretty good for your memory.
Well,
I thought you were talking about the Love and Death stuff. No, there was one before Love and Death. That Head was doing by himself.
Joshua, I don't know what you're talking about, but when I read Welch's book, I was like, yes, grape. Welch's grape juice would be so good right now.
Oh, there's Alec Ashmore.
Where?
Right there.
Let's see. Oh. No tendies tonight?
So Ashmore, are you gonna call me up, Ashmore, and talk to me about Kavanaugh? What's your opinion?
I have an opinion.
That should be interesting.
Tendies are for the weak. So you're weak, Alec?
I've never heard of Dustin Kensher. You guys are killing my sleep schedule.
What's up, Chris? I know. I'm sorry.
Chris Maddox. That name sounds very familiar to me.
Leah. OMG, can I? She wants to call in.
Yeah. I mean, oh gosh. All right. Well, we've got. I got a question for you. Go for it, K2. Let me fire up Skype here so that when Leah of the Village. I can't tell you guys how much I love that of the Village thingy. I think Pony started that.
Well, Pony is like the pony of the village. It made sense to me, like, because she calls herself Pony. So like, oh, there's like a horse of the village. You know what I mean? A pony of the village. So then when Leah did it, I was like, wait, Leah of the Village? And then I'm like, actually, that's cute. Oh, Pony said no, it was Leah that started it.
Oh, Leah of the Village started it.
Really?
Okay.
So it wasn't the horse that started it.
I love that of the Village thing. I was recognized!
Eric, who are you talking to? There's all these like nice things in this asshole. Okay.
People are weird. Slayer, Raining Blood. We did that. We did Raining Blood.
I said I haven't formed enough an opinion because I haven't watched enough news.
Your boy
heard
Jordan
Vin
Peterson
say 2 sentences about it, and I still have an opinion. Whoa, babe.
All right, so Leah's calling up. Leah of the Village. Leah of the Village. Leah.
Hello.
Hello.
Vin.
What's going on, Leah? What's up?
Not much. How my rock stars doing tonight?
Oh, we're doing
doing
good.
pretty
You know
good.
what,
Doing
Leah?
pretty good.
I was so glad that you said what you actually thought. Like when you said that I was tentative, I was totally uncomfortable with the whole thing. And so I was glad that you said that and you weren't just like, try to be nice and make a lie.
No, I was very honest, and I really think you did an excellent job with it, because I know what it's like, and it's not easy, so yes.
And you're right, like, singing, that's not my thing. Like, the reading parts, please, that I like that, but the singing, I was so uncomfortable, and I kept doing it, and I was getting more frustrated, and I just wanted to cry.
Oh, yeah, I know it's not as some would think. So
No, if it's
but
like in
you
you,
killed that reading part, absolutely.
yeah, you can tell that that's like more my thing. But whatever.
Totally. No worries. It was all good.
Okay, so Kavanaugh, Leah, go. What do you got?
Oh my God. Okay, so I don't know if everybody is familiar with what's going on, but
Give us a 5-minute download.
5-minute download. So, okay. So Trump had his second nominee to the Supreme Court to select. He selects Judge Kavanaugh, who's got an extensive history in the judiciary. I forgot all of the stations he was at. He was in Bush's White House, and then he was a circuit judge in D.C., like an appeals judge, I believe. So he's got this great, extensive history as far as the judiciary goes, and over 300 judgments that he's written. So he gets nominated. They have the hearing for him, which was a couple weeks ago now. And basically, as soon as the Senate hearing started, the Dems were going crazy. All the Democrats, from the moment the hearing started, were protesting that they didn't have enough documents released for this guy, even though there was more documents released for him regarding his past experience and qualifications than the previous 5 nominees combined. So they were claiming they didn't have enough of his documents, and then when that didn't work, they finally got through the hearing, which took a couple days. Everything's going good. It looks like he's, on the track to being confirmed, and then here comes this woman, this sexual abuse allegation, which I'm not going to say whether or not it's true or not, but the timing is very suspicious. So it turns out that Senator Feinstein got a letter from this woman back in July claiming that she had suffered abuse by Kavanaugh when they were teenagers. Senator Feinstein, before the official hearings took place, got to meet with Kavanaugh privately. I don't know exactly how long they were together, but it was a decent amount of time, and she never brought the issue up to him. She didn't say anything about the letter until after this hearing. She didn't bring it up at the hearing that they had when, everybody got to question him. And then now that it looks like he's about to be confirmed, then she finally brings it up. And pretty much it looks like it's another lame, 11th hour attempt at delaying or derailing his confirmation altogether.
Well, it does seem that way.
Very much
the
so.
timing is convenient.
The timing is very suspicious.
The timing is suspicious. However, the rhetoric that's coming out of the right, you're presenting a very well-balanced, this is what happened type of dispassionate sort of, just these are the facts. But the rhetoric, this lady's getting death threats. There's the whole, how come she didn't, so I'm concerned about that.
Yeah, that's crazy. There should be.
I'm also concerned about folks on Fox News saying, well, they're teenagers. What do you expect them to do?
Yeah.
Not cool.
Don't you think, though, that if she didn't even realize that he was going to be a thing, and then all of a sudden when he does, she's like, he's not qualified for that because of X, Y, and Z.
He's been a thing for a while.
Yeah, but now he's going to be a thing, right?
Well, he's been a thing for a while.
Okay, well then I guess.
It's hard for and somebody call in if you disagree here, but I don't think any fair person could say that it isn't at least questionable that it's now coming. I mean, this happened with Clarence Thomas, right? The first black
If you
nominee.
disagree with what's being said, you guys can call in. Like,
Well, I don't know if Clarence Thomas was the first black guy, because I think what's his name? But yeah, if you disagree, call in. Hey, Slaughtered Land, thank you very much. Oh, hold on, let me read this. The accuser wants him to testify first. Totally BS. That's not how this country works. You have to state your case and allow the accused to defend, not vice versa. This is just a ploy to derail. Okay, so is that right, Leah? The accuser wants him to testify first?
Right. So they made demands because they invited her to a hearing on Monday. Her lawyer is now saying in order for her to show up, there's going to be conditions. One of the conditions is Kavanaugh has to testify first.
Ooh. Okay, what's the win there? Why?
Because that way, if he testifies first, the win for her is he cannot refute, per se, her testimony. She'll testify after him, and she can shoot down or try to knock down whatever it is he says. But like the person commented, that's not the way things work. If you have somebody accusing someone, you make your accusation, and then the accused gets to state their defense. Mm-hmm. That's how...
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's
strange.
That's strange.
Not only do they want him to testify first, they don't want him in the room when she testifies. And I believe it's no lawyers are supposed to do any of the questioning. It's only for the Senate Judiciary members.
I don't know. That's kind of weird to me.
It's weird to me.
Let me ask you this question. Has it ever been done before?
Has it ever been done before in a judiciary?
Like what you just what you just described. Is there any precedent for it?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Yikes. Okay, so Leah, are you good to stay on the phone? Pony.
Of course.
Thank you so much, Pony. Stop it, Pony. That's 200 cents. Come on. Okay, so I need somebody who disagrees, or I don't know if there's anything to disagree, because Leah's just stating facts, I guess. But do you think that this lady is right and in the way that she's? I mean, one issue I have is the timing. Do you have a rebuttal for that? And secondly, another issue that I have is this weird trial thing where the accused has to speak first.
I thought that you had like a certain amount of years. Like, what was that called?
There's a statute of limitations.
Yeah.
Statute of limitations.
As far as like prosecuting somebody to go to jail, but I think this is like, hey, you are definitely not
how can
qualified.
They prove anything? The only thing that this is doing is messing with somebody's what's the word?
Well, see, now what's funny is these are the newest conditions that they put upon it. Prior to this, they had requested that before they even have the hearing, that the FBI does a full investigation of it, and then they'll have the hearing between the two of them to argue their
how can anything be investigated? What's to investigate? Like,
exactly.
What evidence could there possibly be? Unless this whole thing happened with a camera.
Okay, there's no statute of limitations.
The woman doesn't even remember the location of the incident or the general time, I believe.
Yeah. I think this is not fair.
Well, hold on. Leah, what is she saying actually happened in the assault?
She's saying that Kavanaugh and her were at some party at a pool house, and he had too much to drink and attempted to rape her.
So are there witnesses?
No witnesses. I think she said, hold on, I don't know if she's claiming there are any witnesses. I've heard varying reports that there may have somebody else that knew Kavanaugh might have been at the party, and I know he was interviewed, and he said he doesn't recall any party like that, and they were never at a party like that, and Kavanaugh would never do that. So, as far as witnesses, no, I don't think she's naming any.
K2 said that there was a witness and that she named a witness.
But the witness...
K2 said they named a witness. Awesome. I haven't heard that yet, so I can't really speak accurately about that.
All 3 witnesses said it didn't happen?
Oh, no.
There's 3 people that I believe that she named, and they asked those 3, and all 3 of them said, yeah, no, he had nothing to do with any of this.
Yeah, but BM fan, she's asking for an FBI investigation, which I don't have a problem with, but it's a strange thing to me that she's saying that he has to testify first, and that was my question. Like, is there a precedent for is there a precedent for this? No, I don't think it's the same thing.
Is there a precedent for a defendant testifying before the plaintiff? That doesn't make any sense.
Right. I don't think it's necessarily the same thing that happened with Maynard, because it's highly possible that Maynard was thinking he was having sex with a groupie on a bus. This is something different. She's saying he came and attacked her. In the Maynard accusation, she didn't say that. She said that she was there and she froze, but she never offered any resistance. In this situation, this young lady's claiming she offered resistance. Isn't that true? Did she say he was struggling and shoved her or whatever?
Right. The best way I've heard it described is he attempted to rape her. So what all that entails, I don't remember the specifics. I've only heard it a couple times, but yeah, that was the gist of it.
Yeah,
he did not actually. There was no official rape, I guess, if you want to call it that. There was no penetration, whatever, but that's what he was attempting to do.
So here's my problem with this. The most cynical side of me says this is all this isn't a trial, there's no plaintiff, it's congressional testimony. BM fan, let me say something, BM fan, you tell me if it's true or false. You don't really care if Kavanaugh's innocent or guilty, but you're okay with this because of the utility it presents, because you don't want a guy like Kavanaugh in the Supreme Court. It seems to me that here's what's bugging me about this entire situation is that he allegedly laid on top of her, covered her mouth, and pulled out her clothes. Okay, that's different though. That's KZ, you're right. In both situations, we don't know what happened, and it was decades ago.
Right.
36 years ago, to be exact. Yeah.
But here's what's bugging me about this whole situation, because we take sexual assault extremely seriously.
No, we do. Yeah. Yeah.
And the worst side of me is saying this is some leftist ploy to take this guy down or delay the proceedings, because this issue, this Me Too thing is in the atmosphere, and so they're pulling out any stops necessary to destroy this guy, because they see his appointment as a detriment to the nation. And I think if that's if that's what's happening, that is really, really, really fucked up.
Oh, I agree.
That's bad, because there are a ton. Any time a false accusation comes out and becomes really huge, it cheapens the many women who have actually been assaulted.
For sure.
And to just use that as a club to get Anita Hill as a precedent. I remember when the Clarence Thomas thing was going down.
I mean, I have a question. Maybe I'm not thinking this completely through, and this is going to sound really, really terrible. I don't agree with sexual assaults at all. You know how I am about stuff like that. But let's say he was at a party and he was drinking and he did this to this girl 36 years ago. Does that mean he shouldn't be in the in the cabinet because of that?
In the Supreme Court, I
Yeah.
would say, yeah, he's out. You can't put him in jail, but that to me
Why?
would DQ him for sure.
I mean, haven't the majority of our, well, I don't know. You know,
Majority
like
of what?
Clinton, all the stories about Clinton and all the things that he's done. So then you don't think that Trump should be in there either. I mean, he went right
What
out
are you
and
talking
said,
about?
grab him by the pussy. I mean,
Yeah, but nobody's coming out and saying that Trump
I didn't
raped
want
them.
that happening. Yeah. Okay.
There's the porn star girl, but they were threatening her, according to her.
So,
But if somebody actually tried to rape somebody, I don't
because
think...
you're saying somebody that would do something like that is going to have poor judgment and you don't want them on the panel, basically.
Well, I don't care about any of that. What I care about is if you rape somebody, you should die. Period. So how the hell do you get to be on the fucking Supreme Court of the United States of America?
I don't think that they're saying he raped her.
Well, if he attempted to, same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
See, I don't think that's cool. I'm not with the whole that was a youthful indiscretion thing. I don't.
No, I don't agree with that
well,
either.
that's what he just said.
Yeah, I don't agree with
I'm
that
not
either.
with that at all. At all. You're fucking 17 years old.
Yeah.
I was old enough to fucking control myself. At 17 years old. So I don't want to hear it.
Is that what you would say if somebody did that to your daughter? You'd say, "Oh well, it's just a
youthful indiscretion."
That's okay.
Yeah, I'd have a youthful
Your
indiscretion.
daughter's crying, her eyes out.
Okay, what about you? Because you're staying pretty quiet here. Let's say that he actually did it exactly.
K-12.
Let's say that he actually did this act, Leah. Let's say that some video came out and all that, right? Would you? What would you say about his suitableness for the Supreme Court? Just tell the truth.
If it was discovered that these allegations were actually true, and that he did do everything that he is being accused of, I would say that he definitely deserves not to be appointed to the Supreme Court, and that there should be some sort of investigation into it further.
Okay. This stuff is just really fishy to me, though, Leah.
It's very fishy. The woman that is making the claim didn't want her name out there. The letter that she wrote to Feinstein was...
Well, I understand why she didn't want her name out there, because the right-wing Christians were threatening to murder her, Leah.
They're threatening to... because the Democrats leaked the name to the media. That's the only way that her name got out. Feinstein is the only one that has that letter.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that it's not fishy that anytime like one of these powerful dudes gets like accused, people always go, "Oh, well, she won't release her name." Yeah, because people want to kill her.
Yeah. Look,
Right,
David Bovee,
right.
if
No,
true, do you
I'm
want to... That's a good point.
Go ahead, Leah.
No, I wasn't saying that, her name shouldn't be out there. If she wanted it private, it absolutely should have stayed that way, but it didn't.
Right. Okay, no, Kellen. Leah is saying the name should have remained that way, but they released it. Yeah, I'm having a hard time with this one. There are a lot of opportunities to release this information. I mean, Feinstein knew about this since July.
Correct.
And this is just,
That's when she got the letter.
I feel like this is going to backfire on Democrats. What do you think?
Oh, I agree. I think people in, the general public that looks at this from the outside can see that this is kind of a last-ditch effort at obstructing Trump's nominee. I think they would have done this to whoever he had nominated. It doesn't make a difference. They would find some way. They tried doing it before the hearing, saying the hearing should be delayed. Then when they actually proceeded with the hearing, now they come with this. It's just...
Whoa. What about this? What about the 65 women that have backed Kavanaugh saying this is false? Aren't these women's voices important too?
Correct.
Well, I mean, they weren't there. I'm assuming they're character witnesses.
No. They did interview though, I saw this the other night. Two girls that had dated him, two of his girlfriends, around that same time.
I see.
So
Both of them spoke highly to his character, saying that yes, he would drink on occasion, but he never lost control, and that he is not capable of doing the things he was accused of. And one of the women that he dated actually knew of the girl that is making the accusations, but they didn't know her like personally, like well, but they knew of her. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think she went to a different school supposedly, so I don't even know how much they were in contact.
Death Fan, chill with the term tranny, please. We don't use that term here, but I see where you're coming from. We don't use that term though. Yeah, I hate to say the Democrats because I want to honor this woman as her own individual, right? But I feel like but Feinstein was the one that was in control of this information, right?
She is the only one that had the letter, correct?
Wait a second. Let me ask a question here. This lady wrote the letter to Feinstein?
Correct.
Why the hell did she write the letter to Feinstein?
It's a really good question. I'm not sure.
Like, what? Like, wouldn't you go to the authorities or the...
She also went to the Wall Street Journal, I believe.
I don't know. This is a really weird story, I think.
To make this accusation. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, it's her Okay, Feinstein was her representative, who then sat on it since July.
Right. Mentioned it to Kavanaugh before the hearing, didn't mention it during the hearing, didn't bring it up until afterward.
And she's not pressing charges. KZ, what do you think of this? Like I said, we take this stuff very, very seriously, and we don't care about, public opinion about it. That's I think we've proven that. But this is, I don't know. Quoting shit that people say out of context is not an argument against them. That's very good, Alec. If only you would apply that in other situations, then you'd be okay. Yeah. I don't know, man. This is tough. She was probably super concerned when she saw Kavanaugh coming up as a nominee. With assault survivors, a lot of times they try for a long time to forget this stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, though. I don't know, Leah.
Yeah.
Like, you know me. You know me, right? So, like, if there was...
I do.
If there was any stretch in which, like, I could say, hey, this is really, really believable, I would go for it.
Right. Oh, I know.
And I'm not bound to Kavanaugh at all. I'm not a fan of him at all. So, okay, so Kellen is not saying it doesn't look bad or feel weird. It absolutely does. I mean, I think at minimum there should be an FBI investigation. I do think there should be an FBI investigation at minimum, just so that...
Kavanaugh has already gone through 6 separate FBI background checks over the years. 6.
I know that, Leah, but not for this stuff, right?
Well, they didn't find anything like this in his background prior. I don't know how you could even investigate this when there's no...
Here's why here's why I say, even if I was Kavanaugh, even if I was being accused, and it's easy for me to say this because I'm not, I would still want an investigation on the books on this particular issue, because I don't want to set the precedent for an actual rapist who did it 2 years ago when there's real credible evidence against him, but then people refer to this case out of context, we know, to use that as an excuse for why we shouldn't investigate. So I would like...
The Senate Judiciary Committee is doing the investigation. That's why they're holding up his confirmation. They are the ones doing the investigation. It's not up to the FBI.
Yeah, somebody just said the FBI looked at the facts and refused to investigate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's tough because it happened almost 4 decades ago, Leah. How the hell are they supposed to investigate?
Agree.
You're not going to have any, I don't know. I'm not going to come out and say that she's lying. At minimum, here's what I will say confidently. The Democrats are definitely using this. And I do know that when Kennedy resigned from the Supreme Court, I do know that leftists were in a tailspin and panicky and saying that the sky was falling. I do remember that.
Yeah, they had fill-in-the-blank protests against this nominee 20 minutes after he had been announced.
Right. Good Lord. Vin, please stop using the term leftist to describe Democrats. That's not an accurate descriptor.
Sorry for the caps, but it's so important.
Okay, well, call in and tell me the difference. I'm just using social shorthand here, my brother.
Did you watch that debate?
Do you watch the Ted Cruz better O'Rourke debate? No. Did anybody watch the O'Rourke Cruz debate?
No.
Kavanaugh does not want the investigation, nor does Congress, so please don't conflate it to FBI refuses.
49 minutes, Tosco.
Ted Cruz is a vampire. Okay. All right. Well, think about this. The Democrats were so sure they were going to win that they let Ginsburg stay in. Honestly, if they knew they were going to lose, she would have retired. They're scared to death. That's a very good point.
Yep.
I think, yeah. I think this is a real...
Something happens and, another Supreme Court justice were to pass away or whatever due to natural causes, and Trump were to get a third pick.
I know. It's a wrap. Especially if Michael Moore's prediction is right and Trump's going to get it in 2020. Here it is right here. So are you Trump people then? No, I'm not a Trump person. I think Leah's a Trump person, but Vin and Sori are not Trump people. But here we go. Anytime you criticize the left, it automatically means you're a Trump person.
Mm-hmm.
Can we just think with some nuance for a second? What I'm saying is, if, and this is what it appears, I'm not saying that this lady is giving a false accusation or not. All I'm simply saying is, if they're using what happened or didn't happen to this young lady as a tool for their political ends, I think that that's real fucked up and cheapening the social conversation that we need to have about women and sexual assault. And I will say, whether or not Kavanaugh did it, the rhetoric from the right, which is kids will be kids, he was only 17,
bad.
What do
Very
you expect?
bad.
I heard a woman say, that happens to all of us. Like, no. Even if it does happen to all of you, it shouldn't.
Right.
And the social conversation is absolutely toxic when you have
that
people... That
statement makes it worse.
Yeah, when you have people it's crazy. Like, right-wing people will justify sexual assault to get their man in, and left-wing people will possibly fake and exploit sexual assault to keep somebody out.
That's bad.
And I think that
both are bad.
We're losing our humanity here. I think we're losing our humanity. Geo flip, that was a good one. That was a good little touche there. I think that's a good point. Anyway, you have a lot of variety of views. That's true. Good, we do. Trump 2020 MAGA.
Oh, nice, Patrick.
Damn right.
Okay. Bring all this before Judge Judy. She'll have it
I
resolved
know,
in 30 minutes.
right? That was funny, right?
Oh my God.
Case closed. I'm like, who said this? And then I look, I'm like, Alec.
I have to, Samuli, I have to get that cleared with my resident Nightwish expert, Pony, to figure out if that's the proper Nightwish version. Anytime I do Nightwish, though, I want to do it live because I just love Floor live, man. I just love her. I think she's
like constantly.
She's one of the best.
Hell yeah.
Vin, can you please tell her not to use the Lord's name in vain? Who's using the Lord's name in vain?
Yeah.
Hey, Leah, did you use the Lord's name in vain?
Not that I remember, no.
I don't remember hearing that either.
I said damn right and hell yeah.
Just so you know, the Lord's name is Yahweh. So unless somebody used Yahweh's name in vain, I think we're all set. The person on the phone, what did she say? She said, "Oh my God. God is not the Lord's name. God simply means divine being. The Lord's name is Yahweh." I'm not being funny. I'm being dead ass serious. If we want to be sticklers about the Bible, which I love to be, we got to be like
accurate.
All right. God is a category of being, KZ. Okay, well, Leah, I think you downloaded the situation very good. I think you paint. I'll say this: as far as the Democrats using this as a tool, I definitely think we all know what's going on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Look at the timing. You look at everything. I think we all know what's going on here. Don't play that game. It's all the same name. No, it's not, Richie. No, it's not. All right. Thank you very much, Leah.
Bye, Leah.
No problem. Thank you. I just have to say real quick, Pony, we fucking love you.
Yes,
we do.
Pony for president. Make America great again.
Damn right.
Yeah.
I'm voting for her in 2024.
Pony would mandate Nightwish for
right
every day.
No Pledge of Allegiance or anything like that. Do Nightwish.
A Pledge Allegiance to Floor.
The Pledge of Allegiance is really kind of scary, though, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
I remember when you first said that to me.
Yeah.
That's some real like statist shit. That's terrible.
Yeah, when you said I was so surprised once you pointed that out to me that we used to do that in a private school.
Yeah. All
right. Bye, Leah.
Take care. Thank you for
talking. We love you.
All right. So, Leah coming down, dropping the facts. The factualies.
Yeah, we had to have the landlord come and change the unit altogether because changing the batteries wasn't fixing the beep on them.
Okay, K2, you had a question. I answered no quickly because I was talking to Leah. But if you want to call in, K2, that would be great. Chicken pot pie.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
It's chicken pot pie.
Yod Hey Vod Hey. It's the tetragrammaton. It's the 4 letters. So when you squash the 4 letters together, it says... Who is this? Oh, this is Pony. Hey.
Hi.
What's up? I had her on mute.
I just wanted to tell everybody because I'm in such a horrible mood, but I just wanted to tell everybody I'm so sorry I'm not chatting, but I freaking love you all so freaking much. You guys just like made my whole... Thank you.
We love you.
We love you.
We love you so much, you guys. And the village. I'm just... Thank you.
We love you too, Pony.
Hope your night gets better.
I'm sorry for calling. I just, yeah. I'll let you guys go.
Love you.
Bye. Love you.
Love you too.
It's a call-in show. People are supposed to call in.
Right. She's like, well, I didn't want to fight about politics. I just wanted to share the love.
That's okay. We weren't fighting. See, that's the thing. Like, nobody's fighting. We're all, like, agreeing to disagree. You know? It's all good. Tulsi Gabbard is the only Democrat that's capable of being electable against Trump. I don't know. If Bernie was on the ticket, I'd vote for him tomorrow. Your email is vinandsori@gmail.com. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Nightmare Revisited. Okay. Who beats Trump in 2020? Bernie. Vin, I am unable to call in. Why not, K2? Just get Skype. It's free. Vin, Christian phony.
Okay. I thought it did like a weird thing when I put my fork back.
What do you know? You know that God's name is God, GeoFlip? What are you talking about? What Hebrew do you speak? Was Jesus a communist? I don't think Jesus was a communist because he wouldn't have been cool with people killing 100 million people and stealing their property and sending them to the gulags. So probably not.
I'm like, why is it taking you so long to answer that? Here, let me answer it. No.
Yes, Sop with Snoopy. The only thing about the $75 thing is that we may not like the band. So if we genuinely like the band, we'll say so. But if we don't like the band, we'll say so. I'm just putting that out there. Yes, Hate Breed is coming.
Okay, Vin and Sori. Vin and space, sorry, if you want to find us on Skype.
I think if you just go to Skype and hit Vin and Sori, you'll be okay.
Okay.
I feel like I can't call myself a Christian because I knowingly sin out of temptation. Well, Christianity is for sinners. So, like, you don't, like, earn the title of Christian. I don't think it's good to sin, but if anyone does sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ the righteous. That's what it says in 1 John chapter 2. Jesus' name in the Hebrew is Yehoshua, which means God is my Redeemer. The beginning of his name is Yeho from Yehovah. It's not Yeshua, it's Yehoshua. Actually, it means Yahweh is salvation. I don't want to get into etymology with you. Can you guys define love thy neighbor? Love thy neighbor means that you want for your neighbor what you would want for yourself. I think that's the clearest.
Unless you're a self-hater who only wants destruction for your life, then that doesn't apply.
Then, if hell don't exist, why? Who said hell doesn't exist? Michael Strike, call me. Is he calling me? Is that him?
Bernie Sanders.
Hello.
Dude who harps about income equality while owning multiple homes and making over $1 million each of the last 2 years. Thank
Hello,
you,
who's
Lamb.
this?
I'm Lamb Sauce.
Hey, Lamb Sauce.
Hey.
What's up, little buddy?
Nothing much. You?
Nothing much, man. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
He's on mute. You're muted it, babe.
Okay. So what's up, Lamb Sauce?
You guys, we got Lamb Sauce on the line.
I'm good.
Yeah? What are you doing tonight?
What are you doing tonight?
Nothing. I'm just gonna be watching the stream.
Did you finish your homework?
I had no homework today.
You didn't? Our kids are homeschooled, and I was telling them about when I used to go to school and that I had homework. They were like, what is homework?
Spoiled brats?
Yep. They don't ever get homework. Everything they do is homework.
So what's up, bruh?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
What do you guys want to talk about?
Who's your favorite band, Lamb Sauce?
Currently, it is Korn, but it often switches. a lot.
Did you see the interview we did with Head?
Yes, I did.
That was awesome, huh?
Yeah.
If there is if there was a Korn song you wanted us to review, what would it be?
I mean, there's probably like 80. Like any song from their first album, any song from their second album, any song from their fourth album.
Just name one.
I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Well, thank
the
you.
other day, I
Huh?
found a metal band.
Say again?
The lead singer, it's a parrot.
Say that again?
The other day, I found a metal band, and the lead singer is a parrot.
Is a parrot?
Yep.
What? Are you serious?
What's the name of the
Yeah.
band?
It's called Hate Beak.
Hate Beak instead of Hate Breed. We'll have to check them out.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really weird.
How you doing today, buddy? You good? You happy?
Yeah.
Good. All right, bro. Thanks for calling in, man.
Yep.
Much love. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Big homie Lamb Sauce. I love that kid.
Oh.
Such a good kid. Hate Beak. We need more carnival. I know.
We should do a reaction to that hate beak.
Okay. Yehovah, Yahweh. Either way, she didn't say the Lord's name in vain. Go ahead, honey.
What? Okay.
Okay, so Silent Demon is calling us. Mr. Silent Demon, I need you to be loud.
Hey, this is actually Jose speaking.
What's up, Jose?
This is Mickey. How you
Oh, hey!
What's up,
doing?
Mickey?
Hello. Hi, how are you guys?
We're good.
Good. Well, I figured I'd call in because I wanted to thank you guys. Like I said in my comment, I don't know if you saw it. I think Vin might have seen it. The Pantera video.
Yeah, I did see it.
You did last night.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the great. You guys hit all the points, and I mean that one hit home. It hit really home with me because it was my first metal song. So I just wanted to thank you guys for doing it because it kind of resonates.
Oh,
on a
that's
personal level
cool.
with myself. So
Oh, that was your first metal song?
that was my first metal song I ever discovered. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Absolutely.
cool.
Yeah, first metal song. I was only 2, so I was an infant.
Do you remember?
I do remember. Yeah,
What?
I do. Yeah, photographic memory. I don't know how, but yeah,
Oh my word.
2. Yeah, 25 years ago. It's crazy.
That's insane.
25 years ago. Yeah, but I like I said, I wanted to thank you guys for doing that song, and yeah.
Yeah, you're
Figured
welcome.
Rock on,
I
bud.
figured I'd call. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it.
No, and also I mean, you guys are great, like I always say, so keep doing what you do. And before I go, I just want to let you guys know that I have no doubts that you'll make it to full-time soon, so.
Thanks, Mickey.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I will be there every step of the way, so.
Sweet.
Thank you,
I
guys.
know, man. We appreciate your support, my guy. I really
Yeah.
do.
No problem, man. Thank you guys for the great content. Keep pushing forward. Like I said, you guys are doing great, so.
Awesome.
So, yeah. All right, man.
Thanks for
Thank
calling
you.
in.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thanks for calling. I appreciate it.
No problem. You guys have a nice evening.
Peace.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's so funny because whenever there's somebody that because I don't have regulars that I talk to, but there are regulars on Patreon that will talk to me, and he's one of the regulars that will talk to me, and I always in my head when I read his messages, I was wonder what he really sounds like. So now I have a voice to put with the messages.
He's a lovely chap. Village for life. What's up, Keith? Was just watching your stuff with my son who is an atheist. He has much respect for you. Cool. Tell him to send me an email. Hey guys, this is probably the kid. Hey guys, just wanted to say I'm an atheist, but I really enjoy watching your reaction videos. You're truly great people, and it shows in your videos. Keep up the great work. Appreciate you, my guy. Sori, satanic horns. Illuminati confirmed. You went like this guy. This guy. Yeah, most of our viewership are atheists. Most. We need some redemption for Rush. Oh Lord, Vin gonna try to convert him. Here's Alec with your dishonest self. Alec, I have never tried to convert a soul on this thing.
Yeah, really.
What's wrong with you?
What the hell?
What's wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I didn't know you were gonna know what I was doing, so it's funny they jumped in. I hate that guy. I can't remember last week.
Of course I'm not cool with my kids growing up to be atheists, KZ. I don't think it's best for them. But is that going to change? Is that going to change me loving them? No. Is that going to change me kicking Dorian's ass in Madden? No. Is that going to change that they get hugs and kisses every day? No. They're going to be, I don't care how old they're going to be 30, 40 years old. I'm still going to kiss them and hug them and all that shit. There's no way they're getting away from that. You know right. That's true.
Yep.
It's going to change nothing.
I'm like, one of these days, like, Dorian's going to be like, Dad, chill. Look at this. 6 death. 6 God. 6. FYI, I look forward to your videos.
Thank you, my guy.
Atheists have happier lives, sorry. I've been around atheists. I don't know if I would agree with that. Does love really exist? It's up for debate at this point in time. It does.
Oh, okay. So live at Tempier.
What's that?
Nightwish. There's a Nightwish song that people have been asking us to do ever since we did that Avenged Sevenfold song. Remember that? Like 19...
Sorry, I'm distracted by this one. Stupid people pay to these Christians for doing Christian clips. It's ridiculous. Throw them to the lions for breakfast. Commercialism kills.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. What were you saying to me?
Hey, cool guys. Reacted to Fear Factory Self-Fires Resistor. Yes, thank you.
Can't wait for you guys to do more Testament.
Yeah, now let's see if these people roast you. No, it's hardly red.
Do atheists browbeat you with their belief system like vegans do?
No.
No. I don't even feel like that vegans... I haven't felt like I've been browbeaten by vegans. I mean... Yeah, I don't know. They're passionate about it, but it's life or death for them, so...
The riffage of Dimebag and Ingwe Mom's team equals Michael Romeo sympathy. Stop it.
Metal elitist?
I've never even heard of that individual, but there's no way you're going to combine Dimebag and Ingwe Momstein in one person. I will send you 5 shirts signed, free, if I listen to that band and come to that conclusion. Wallahi. I'll start typing joke next to my statements when they're to be taken that way. Oh, boy. Jesus ate meat, so it can't be bad. Well, Jesus ate meat before the resurrection.
Ooh.
That's the question.
No. I thought he ate fish after.
No, he didn't eat fish. He just fixed it for them. Is Dio averaging a 10 out of 10, considering you gave him an 11 once? That's very possible.
Pascal, we're waiting.
How do I call in? Jeez, bro.
You didn't have to
Skype.
super chat that. Skype us.
Skype us. Vin and Sori.
Drinks. What shirt sizes are you guys? Well,
I'm a large.
If it's men's sizes, probably give me a medium. That's probably good.
Hey, Ben Webb's in the house. What's your thoughts on Noah? Whoa, Matthew Winter.
Just got home with the kids. Aiden?
I think Aiden
Oh,
is
no.
his son, right?
I guess.
The code. What do you mean? What's my thoughts on Noah?
So, what's up, Aiden? We're glad you're on the stream.
What's up, Aiden? Shout out to the big homie. Vin and Sori at gmail.com. That is our thingamajiggy. What are your thoughts on Julius Caesar? Those are like really broad questions. What do
Yeah.
you mean? What are my thoughts on them?
I think it's a cool name. Or did you want more of an answer than that?
Vin, what do you think is causing so many people to throw people in the same bucket? The left, the right, vegans. I just think K2 that
We love you too, Keith.
K2. I'm a collectivist. I'm not a radical individualist, and so I think that there are groups of people that have common ties. It's like saying metalhead or Korn fan or whatever. If a person's a Korn fan, that means generally speaking they appreciate Korn's music. That doesn't mean they like every single Korn song, but there are ways to group people into boxes. I mean, let's be practical here. You don't need the number, Slaughtered Lamb.
Tozzy.
Download Skype.
Download Skype.
Download Skype.
And look up Vin and Sori.
Vin and Sori.
His name is Vin, and I'm Sori.
You're a Christian fanatic, bruh. I agree.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And then the two people down. Don't label me.
I don't understand it. We Islam. We did review Slipknot Snuff. Go into our archives and you'll see we did review Slipknot Snuff.
Alec, I like sneezing in public so people say bless you and I get to yell at them in I'm an atheist.
Joke.
Then you'll joke.
Look. No, that's an insult! I know you meant it as an insult, but we take it as a compliment!
Right.
Did you just assume his religious enthusiasm? Right. I agree with that, Vin, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about...
Which one is it? The one that said that you were a extremist or something like that?
Well, I do believe that the left wants to silence free speech.
It's like going up to a model and saying, "You're pretty." Thank you.
Has Dio made it to regular rotation yet? Yes and no.
Yes, Matthew, I'm feeling better. Just needed a few days of rest and relaxation. Vin took care of me. Anything that I said I needed, it was like...
Slaughtered Lamb. It's not a phone number, my brother. It's Skype. Download
But if
Skype
you don't
and search for Vin and Sori.
But if you don't have Skype and like you need us to call you, then send us an email. Put your name in the title there, and then just put it's vinandsori@gmail.com and put your phone number there, and we will call you. Lamb sauce.
Yes, K2. Yes, K2. And
Why are old people so dumb?
I am a Korn fan who's not particularly fond of Life is Peachy. But the majority of Korn fans like Life is Peachy. Ben, I have a phone number. Just saying.
Yeah.
1-800 Vin and Sori.
You remember on that damn it. Remember that little movie that there was like that the guy that like
No,
did all
our
these
kids will never
inventions?
our kids will never go to public school unless they go to college. Go ahead.
Remember he did all these inventions and then he ended up adopting these 3 little kids because he was conspiring to make them like take
Oh yeah, a series of unfortunate events.
No, it was a cartoon. And he like would make up
Series of unfortunate events.
No.
There was a cartoon with that.
Yeah, it wasn't that one. It was
Well, then I don't know.
Dang it. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? He like the little kids would sell cookies and they came out with 3 versions of it. Groot is on it.
Groot?
He popped the little kid's balloon.
Despicable Me.
Despicable Me.
Yes.
Yeah. You remember the part where he was like, he's trying to tell...
Hold on, somebody's giving me credit. Good on you, Vin. You're such a good caretaker for looking after Sori. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, he did really good. He did really good. So anyway, on that, like, you remember when he like asks that other guy to make him, he wants like... Anyway, he wants the old guy to make him something, but the old guy is so old, and he's like, the old guy is like, makes him the totally wrong thing. He's like, why are you so old? Do you remember that part?
No.
Because he's frustrated because the man is so old and can't like modernize his way of thinking. So like this one person can't figure out the Skype thing. No offense, but then Lamb Sauce is like, you go to Skype and you look up Vin and Sori. Ben, what the fuck is Sori talking about?
I know.
Listen and you'll know.
I missed the big homie Lilo. Where is she? Where is Lilo?
Ben, are you too tired to do both tonight?
How do you survive in the U.S. with news channels, etc., picking sites? Fox News, New York Times. Shouldn't it be neutral? Boogeyman. All right, what's this about? What's Boogeyman calling in about?
What is skipping?
Hello. And he hung up on me. Okay.
Good day.
I Am the Thorn by Cradle of Filth. Arturo, that Cradle is on the short list. There's 3 Cradle songs in my head, and I've been keeping track of who's asking for what, and there's one that's like edging everyone out right now. So I Am the Thorn is at the bottom of that 3-tier list.
The Slaughtered Lamb. Is this still the same person that's trying to call in?
Yeah.
wait, is Sori saying that Ben is actually Lilu? That's the theory. Anyway, Slaughtered Lamb, go to Skype. You got to download the Skype app. And then when you have Skype, look up Vin and Sori.
Right. Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Is this the Slaughtered Lamb? No.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Can you hear me?
I just want to call in and respond quickly because you had asked me. I made a point earlier in the chat regarding just the leftist liberal distinction. Just a quick minor terminological point. So I emailed you an article, but I just wanted to run by the quick basic points about it.
Okay.
With you, if that'd be okay.
Yes. So just to be clear.
Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
You're gonna delineate to me the dichotomy between a leftist, a liberal, and a Democrat.
Yes, I will do my best to.
Okay.
So basically, the element of of confusion about this. Well, there's a couple elements of confusion about it. One of them is a linguistic one, and it's that almost everyone involved in the not Republican constituency, whether they're leftists or liberals, are actually a liberal in 2 distinct senses. The first one would be that almost every non-Republican is a liberal. Is that they're all liberal in the sense that it's colloquially used, right, to mean someone who's not an American conservative. And in that sense, a liberal is someone who is very much against anti-discrimination and in favor of civil rights and liberties, diverse multiculturalism, and all that stuff.
Except for when the Democratic Party was pro-slavery.
That's what he means.
Except for when the Democratic Party was pro-slavery and the Republicans were against it.
Right. Well, yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, the changing fabric of society has caused a great number of things to change. And back then, the term had almost no meaning. No one was talking about liberals back then, right?
Okay, fair.
Whigs and Republican Democrats, right? It was even that. But the second sense in which almost every non-Republican is a liberal is that they all agree with the tenets of liberalism as a philosophy. You know, that the worldview that champions free inquiry, rationalism, egalitarianism, individualism, subjective rights, and freedom as primary political ends. And on this point, Republicans are, for the most part, also liberals because they're also in favor of freedom and all those sorts of things. And to a certain extent, they even talk about it more. But no one really picks up on that. Libertarians, I would say, even more so in that respect.
Okay.
So when it comes to leftism, though, things start to become confusing because the assumption is that today's American socialists, whether it's the SA people or people at places like Jacobin who write a lot about leftist stuff, we shouldn't assume that they're anti-liberal in the sense of socialists who are just sort of basically liberal. Today's socialists tend to be totally okay with the norms of liberalism, but they just feel that the economic aspects of it, the sort of free market capitalism stuff, they create material conditions that actually make people less free. So when you talk about things like universal basic income or universal health care, those are sort of responses to what people will talk about as the failures of capitalism, right? The inequalities. So that's sort of where the leftism comes into play, as opposed to.
Do you believe in universal basic income?
there's a bunch of folks who I've been keeping up with in terms of their writings who are studying this stuff and trying to figure out a way to make it happen. I haven't come across a clear-cut kind of, I couldn't point you to a system, right, that would say oh, this is it, but I think it's something that's worth striving for, and I think certainly America with its prodigious wealth rather, could certainly achieve something like that.
Okay, so thank you for adding the nuance. I do think it, and then after all that, somebody goes, "This guy's a liberal." Okay. Let me ask you a question, though, bruh.
Sure.
How significant do you really think that distinction is? Are these people miles apart?
Yeah. That's a good question. I talk about this with some of my friends all the time. We talk about the question of whether you should strive for truth in debating the issues that are at the core of our society versus focusing on what will actually work, what people broadly will understand.
Right.
And unfortunately, we're at a place where most people just, kind of don't have a solid grasp on what is actually going on. People that think the term liberal means all Democrats and not Republicans, and think conservative means all Republicans, not Democrats. It's these terms have just been sort of bastardized by people who have malicious political intentions, and they've been twisted out of their original meanings to be used as sort of political footballs. And so, as far as if that's actually a fight that's worth pursuing, I think intellectually it's worth exploring and being aware of the sort of differences between these things. But again, and there was that other fellow who was asking about media, and how you have all the different sort of sides that arise in the media. I mean, that doesn't help things either, because they perpetuate these sort of false senses that people develop and adhere to the different parties, and it's a rough sort of situation to find oneself in, especially in America, where people sort of rely on the media so heavily for pretty much all their information.
Who do you have winning in 2020?
I'd probably say Trump's gonna win. Unless I don't see anybody right now. The only people I really have been hearing about is Cory Booker, but then he had that ridiculous "I am Spartacus" moment where he's you can't declare yourself Spartacus. That cancels it out.
It's done. That's I forgot that dude that had the meltdown. He was like, "Yeah," and that was it for him. You remember that? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? He's a Democrat guy. It happened 8 years ago. He just started yelling, and that was it.
There's so many people in American politics who've just started yelling and then just immediately disappeared. I just can't keep track of them.
Yeah, all right.
Howard Dean used to just howl.
Yeah. It was Howard Dean. It was Howard Dean. Yeah.
Oh man, that guy was hilarious.
Yeah. Y'all are in some trouble, for sure. All right.
Yeah.
All right, my guy. Well, you and Michael Moore said it first. Trump 2020. Here we go.
Although I will tell you, I couldn't disagree more with Michael Moore on a whole bunch of stuff.
So let me ask this question. So I've been saying that the way that I'm just going to keep saying leftists, liberals, Democrats, whatever, have the militant, kicking people out of restaurants, snatching people's MAGA hats. I have been saying Antifa, BM fan. I've been saying that those are all conditions that are going to generate a second Trump presidency. Do you see any validity to that or not?
Absolutely. I think that's completely logical. So those like Antifa is a group that sort of sits at an intersection of anarchism and leftism.
Yeah.
And they have a bit of illiberalism too, which is like, well, illiberalism is kind of like leftism. It's just like anti sort of certain freedoms. That's basically, and that term has like some uses when you want to get into discussions of like actual like implementation of like I don't know, like kind of theocratic states and things where people are like limiting their freedoms because sort of legislating morality, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as Antifa is concerned, like I mean, just the fact that Trump won in the first place, the fact that people like and somebody mentioned Tulsi Gabbard. I don't know if you saw her interview with Rogan, but she's really, really smart, it seems, and she's very much sort of following in the footsteps of Bernie in that she's sort of woke to the fact that Hillary hacked Bernie out of the election, or out of the primary rather, and she recognizes that that's not the way that the Democrat Party is going to like have a successful future in America, in American politics.
Yeah, the DNC completely fucked themselves. I really think that I think Bernie really had a shot, because I'll tell you, I would have voted for him. So I don't know what that makes me, but I'd have voted for Bernie.
I mean, yeah. It's funny.
So you said something. You said something really interesting, and it's off topic, but I wanted your opinion because you're a well thought out young brother. You said the term legislating morality.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't all legislation a form of morality?
Oh, well, yes, you're very correct in that. That's a good point. And the way that I was using it was kind of to reference like because I've been talking about this with a lot of my friends who are kind of like we're all like sort of I'm in a lot of like young Catholic circles, so we're talking about all these sorts of issues and sort of how to one of the things that always comes up is like how do you implement like faith and morals, morals that are informed by faith in a political society that's supposed to be secular, right? And that distinction.
Well,
like
who said
morality? I sort of meant I included in that the baggage of like morals that are informed by faith. Like so that was what I kind of meant.
Morals
should. I completely didn't specify that when I said that.
Well, wait a second. Who said we're supposed to have a secular legal code?
Society, right?
Who said that?
I mean, people love to talk about separation of church and state and all that sort of thing.
You and I both know that the Establishment Clause doesn't say that, though.
Right, of course, but people just harp on it. I mean, like, it's funny. I was saying this to one of my friends the other day. It's like it's really sad that like the one most famous Catholic politician, and for that matter, like I mean, like a Christian politician, because really none of the other people get like talked about for their Christianity. But it's really sad that like the one Catholic politician in U.S. history was JFK, who's like just the least. Like he just ran on the fact. He ran against Al Smith, right? Who was basically by saying, "Yeah, I'm not going to be Catholic, or I'm not going to let that influence me." It's like that's so depressing because we should be able to sort of move past that and actually be able to allow our faith to inform political decisions. So, but yeah, no, that was a good distinction to make. But thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, it's a strange. Well, like I said, you're extremely level-headed, and I appreciate it. It's always interesting to me when I hear secularists assume secularism as the norm, and then religious faith is some sort of like deviation from. It's ridiculous. Well, it's ahistorical.
Yeah, of course. I mean, not for nothing. Like society, the way it's structured, with just all the rampant immorality, and all the bad shit that goes on in society. I mean, it's kind of hard to like looking at society from an outsider's or American society, or I guess Western Europe and other places. But like looking at society from an outsider's perspective, it's hard to not sort of come to the conclusion that it is a secular society just based on what you see. It's which is again, unfortunate when
Yeah. I mean, I think that both worldviews need to compete in the social arena for supremacy.
Yeah.
But it seems to me that secularists are afraid to have that competition.
Well, that's the sort of problem with neoliberalism. Is it's supposed to allow all ideologies to sort of coexist. You remember those wonderful bumper stickers, coexist. But what you end up with is, I mean, inevitably one side is going to triumph over the other. Like you can't have like a house divided against itself, right?
Right.
And I think what a lot of Christians across the board are sort of realizing is that society is, in a lot of ways, sort of pinned against themselves. But there's also a lot of them that don't realize that and sort of continue to buy into the notion that like America is a Christian nation or whatever. It's a nice tagline for Republican politicians to throw around when they want to cater to like the evangelical South or whatever. But as far as what's actually going on in the country, it's a much different picture.
Alec, for the love of God, the Founding Fathers did not mean in the Establishment Clause that this was going to be a secular state. They were the sons of those who fled Bloody Mary's pogroms of killing people. And so what they were saying was you cannot establish one particular church as the state religion or impeding the free exercise thereof. That's the Establishment Clause. That is not the same thing as saying we are now establishing a secular state. How silly. The same dudes who wrote, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, endowed with certain inalienable rights given to them by their creator. We're not saying that they were establishing a secular state. Subhanallah. See, the guy's laughing at you, Alec. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just saying... This is history. No, that's not secularism. That's called freedom of conscience, which the Catholic Church, up until the Second Vatican Council, called a heresy. Alec, you have got to understand the context. It's called.
We started about the Second Vatican Council. Sorry.
Well, yeah. See, you're a Catholic. Are you a sedevacantist, by the way?
No, I would not go that far. I don't believe that.
God Almighty. Alec.
I mean, I will say it's rough. It's really rough. I've seen a lot of my friends, questioning nowadays. But not to derail, but
No, it all works in there. Alec is assuming that the Establishment Clause goes to secularism. No, it goes to freedom of conscience, Alec. That's all you could do. It's saying the state you can't establish a state religion, and you can't impede the freedom of the exercise of religion. That clearly shows that they were worried about what was happening with Bloody Mary, which opens the door to freedom of conscience. It doesn't mean de facto this is secularism. That's just completely ahistorical. And I know that the Declaration of Independence is different than the First Amendment. However, those are the same people. So it's not like they went and wrote the Establishment Clause and said, shit, we have to delete the preamble to the Declaration of Independence now, because now we're secularists all of a sudden. God, it's just why can't we just be honest with history? Look, here's what happened. There were secularists that infiltrated our government and the media that infiltrated our society and wanted their secular humanist worldview to have supremacy. And I'm okay with that because these are things that have to happen. You got to put these ideas in the public square and have them go at it. But don't act like the Founding Fathers were secularists. That's the same silliness that happens with Christians who say all the Founding Fathers were evangelical Christians. No, they weren't. They were a mixture of deists. Some of them were hardcore Christians. Some of them were deists. Some of them were pragmatists. Okay? Let's just be honest with history. They were not secularists. That's for sure. God Almighty.
Lilu's here.
I mean, it is. I will say it is kind of tough now, because nowadays, of course, with the progression of time, obviously society is extremely different than it was 300 years ago. But at the same time, certain things, have aged better than others, in the Constitution. I think that's an area that we can pretty confidently say has aged well, and doesn't really bear.
Okay, so Alex not worried about historical integrity, so just he's like that's secularism. Okay, Alec. All right.
Well.
Look, Alec is a scientist. He doesn't work in civics. That's not his.
Oh, okay.
That's not his thing. Good Lord. All right, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, Vin, Sori, thank you guys. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thanks
All
for
right,
calling
brother.
in.
Hey, listen. So are you like a practicing Roman Catholic?
Yes, sir.
Oh, we need to have a conversation about sola fide.
Oh. Okay, cool.
Yeah. If you're around like in a half an hour, we'll go at it.
Oh, hey, sure.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
Good stuff. Catch you later.
Oh, Lilo's here.
I told you that.
Maybe Vin today will say all the right words not to make me criticize or mock him.
I told her. She goes, "Sorry, boo." And then I was like, "We love you so much. We talk about you offline."
I know. That caller was well spoken. That's 2 in a row where I had some major. Is he calling back? Really good callers. Hello.
Hello.
Who's this?
This is Ernie or Boogeyman, whatever you want to say. I tried to call you earlier, but I see my phone had issues.
Okay. What's up, brother?
How are you and Sori doing?
We're doing really
We're doing
good.
Yeah, good. I have one request. I don't know. Can you guys review the band Him? Like, because you guys haven't done Him. Like, they're a Finnish metal band. Would you guys care to review like a song like, I don't know, like "Buried Alive by Love," "Join Me in Death," or like, or "Your Sweet 666"? Would you guys be willing to review some the band Him?
It's going to be a tough one because nobody asks for it. And we try to do what basically majority rules.
Here, type 22 in the chat if you want us to do a Him review in the next 7 days.
Okay, because I remember, I forgot what reaction video you had, but I remember Sori was saying something about she likes like love songs, and Him is considered love metal. Like,
oh really?
Like their logo. Their logo is like it's a pentagram, but it's the 2 points are on top are a heart, so it's a heartogram. So I mean, all they sing about is like dark love songs in a positive way, if that makes sense.
Okay, tons of people.
It's all positive love songs, but it's really dark. Like "Join Me in Death." It's like we've all been there in relationships where like where you just go all in and like join me in death. It's just like a relationship kind of thing. Like it's,
all right.
That's the kind of band they are.
What's the best song?
He just said,
"Join
me in death."
Yeah,
all right, we'll do that one.
You think that one's the best?
Okay, that'd be awesome. Okay, I just want to say you guys rock. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you guys rock. I watch your channels every day. I wake up and like, what are Vin and Sori? What are the reaction to next? And so I'm there. I'm subscribed and I'm a fan, and that's all I gotta say.
Awesome.
So,
well, hey, you made it happen, man.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys want to react to the "Join Me in Death"? That's the one you want to react to?
It's gonna happen in the next 7 days.
Okay, so do I have to put the 22 in the chat, or is that for everybody else?
No, that was for everybody else.
For everybody else.
Bunches of people put 22, so it helped you out.
Okay, all right, guys, all right. Love you. All right, peace and love.
We love you too.
Love you too, big guy.
All right, peace.
Why does everybody keep saying leprous?
Slaughtered lamb. babe, the slaughtered lamb is here. Oh, he just missed the call.
Why are you so old?
Oh, Jane, the person with the name Jay, I know you just called, but slaughtered lamb is calling, so hold on.
Beavis and Butthead? I was not allowed to watch that. Shoot, we couldn't even say the names.
I think that's actually like the first time I saw Korn. And I just like, oh, these guys are weird, and I flipped the channel.
Oh, really?
How's the songwriting coming? Vin, could you tell us why you scoffed at Alice's comment on secularism and separation of church and state? Is that not the literal definition of the term? No. The separation, the Establishment Clause has to do with the Protestant understanding of freedom of conscience versus the pre-Vatican II Roman Catholic understanding that you didn't have freedom of conscience. The Roman Catholic understanding was that the Pope and that the magisterial authority of the Catholic Church were supposed to rule the world, and as such, you didn't get to determine of your own conscience what religion you were going to belong to. That's why you see in the Establishment Clause that the state shall not establish a religion, nor suppress the free exercise thereof. What they were worried about was the government telling you which religion to follow. It was not a document advocating for secularism at all. That is an anachronistic, ahistorical reading of that text.
Old School said, I couldn't even say bonehead. What religion was your family, Old School?
I just don't understand this stuff. Like, if you're that confident in your perspective on the world, just be honest about history.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree.
Why do you have to...
I don't know.
Weird. It's weird to me. Hello, slaughtered lamb.
Dirk, I want to, but he's got an agenda, I think.
Slaughtered lamb.
You're breaking up.
No, you're breaking up, sir.
But I'm blessed right now that you actually answered my call.
What happened?
I said I'm blushing with astonishment that you actually answered my call.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for calling in, my guy.
We've been waiting for you.
We've been waiting for you for quite some time.
Yeah, I've always wanted to talk to you guys.
Okay. So what's up, bro? What do you want to talk about?
No, nothing really too serious, but I was just curious on. I know you guys do the mainstream and then you do the underground.
Yep.
What would be maybe? I know you're working hard, but maybe a third thing of doing just straight up death.
Like death metal?
Yeah.
We throw that in on the underground sometimes, right?
Yeah, we throw that in on the underground. I mean, I don't know if people want to see 3 reaction videos from us a day. I think that's
I'm pretty sick.
I don't even know if I could do
great.
it.
I mean,
Then you
literally,
could, but
you're the best reactors and
well, what death metal bands would you want to see more of?
Well, for me, it's really underground. So it's like, underground plus one.
Okay,
so
like
it would be just bands that just don't get enough attention that are doing the same thing as your normal, bands. Bands like Within Destruction out of Slovenia. I've been pushing a lot of foreign bands like Volodanya out of South Africa.
maybe we could do a week of of really, really super obscure bands.
I was just gonna say obscure bands.
Like we could do it. We'll do
Yeah,
like
there's just
we'll do like an Under the Underground week.
Right.
We could do like Under the Underground where we just listen to like really like nebulous bands that we've never heard of before.
yeah, like Infant Annihilator, which is just there's just a bunch.
Infant Annihilator.
Yeah, I know it's an obscure.
Well, no, Infant Annihilator really isn't that obscure in the sense of like there's a lot of people that have been asking for that band. I don't know why we haven't done them yet, but we should.
Well, they're very off-putting, which I think you should watch because they're funny, but they're grotesque at the same time. But that's the whole point. Just stuff like that, and I'm still waiting on these nuts.
Is that a song or a band?
No, it's a band. It's an actual band. It's not a joke. It's an actual band. 3 of the members are from Australia. 1 is from New York.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So we'll have to.
That and I mean, you guys are up in Maine, right?
Yep.
If you ever come down to San Antonio, Texas, I would love to take you out to dinner and treat you guys to a meal at this place called Dick's Last Resort.
Do they serve steak?
They do serve steak, but they are totally rude to you the whole time you're there.
No.
And they will cuss at you. They will insult you, but that's the whole point. Since Sori is such a beautiful woman, they will probably bring her food in a doggy bowl.
Oh.
All right. Well, if we're
I don't know. It's just a funny thing they do. It's not it's not to insult. That's just what they do.
all right. Well,
I think I went to a place like that. It was called the Roadkill Cafe.
in Maine.
I think so.
They stole from Dick's.
They were so rude. And like you couldn't order French fries. It was like worms in a bag, but it was French fries.
Well, this place is. I mean.
And they're very
literally,
rude.
They're gonna cuss at you, insult you, call
Yep.
you every name in the book.
That's really interesting.
You know what's funny? I wonder if, you know how like when you go to work, you have to be nice every day and there's some days you want to just act like a jerk. But I wonder if when you have to act like a jerk every day, if you're like, I just wish I could have a day where I could be nice.
Oh yeah. Look, where are you, Austin?
No, I'm in San Antonio.
San Antonio. Okay, so our speaking
Go
tours,
Spurs, go.
our speaking tour is going to kick off somewhere in the middle of 2019. So,
Okay. Well, Austin's only an hour drive away from me, so.
yeah. So Texas is definitely one of the stops if we do a West Coast trip. So
Alec.
we will
Yeah,
definitely.
There's great places in Austin to eat too. Like you got like Franklin Barbecue. Oh my God! But you got to get there like at 6 o'clock in the morning
Whoa.
and wait for.
Really?
Oh well, yeah. No, they open I think at 11. I'm pretty sure, but the line starts at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning because they run out by 1.
Wow. No, I'm serious though. If we're in the area, we'll definitely hook up for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I did have one last question that I mentioned on a super chat. You have the gospel.
Say that again. Lamb. Are you there, buddy?
1994
Wait.
wanted him back.
Wait, hey, you there? Lamb. Lamb, buddy.
He's gone, honey.
No, he's still there. Look.
Oh.
Lamb. Who's this? Lamb chopped. Who's this? Well, silence of the lamb. The FBI just ended the call. That's pretty funny. Okay. Yo, Vin, what's your favorite war-related book? There's this one by from Eric Blam, who wrote this book called Fearless. It was about Adam Brown. He's a deaf grew operator. Really inspiring story. Overcame drugs, all that stuff. There's one called The Only Thing Worth Dying For, which was about establishing Hamid Karzai in Afghanistan. And it was about Green Berets attached to the CIA trying to establish that. That one was very, very interesting. The Mission, the Men, and Me by Delta operator Pete Blaber. That one was really interesting. A lot of leadership principles there. The Book of Honor was written about declassified agency operatives who died on the field. That was pretty interesting. So yeah, there you go. Who's this? Hello?
Hello?
Bro, you gotta mute your computer, man.
What?
What's up?
Hello. So, is it possible to make both a song request and give you my 2 cents about Kavanaugh?
Go for it. Do it.
Okay, so first I think I'll get the request out of the way. First off, I'd like you to maybe respond to Death Clock Thunder Horse.
Okay. We've had
Now, second of all,
requests for Death
what?
Clock.
We
What?
have.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so my 2 cents about Kavanaugh. Okay, so personally, okay, you know the Mueller probe, right?
Yep.
And how they tried to prove that Trump was in with Russia and all that. It's just the Democrats being butthurt because they lost the presidency. That's my opinion, and I think this Kavanaugh thing is just more butthurt.
Probably.
You know, paying some chick to make a false claim because it's really easy to do that, and it's just more butthurt.
That's probably what it is. Unfortunately, that's what it's looking like.
Yeah, because that's just what people do, unfortunately.
Yep.
It's impossible to find an honest man or woman today. It can't be done.
Somebody just texted me from Twitter and said that you can't have a debate about Kavanaugh without knowing the facts. Listen, Mr. Pit King person, I wasn't debating. I don't think anybody has been disagreeing yet. So where's the debate? Pit King, call me up. All right, man. Thank you very much. Pit King is about to call me and tell me that I don't know the facts about Kavanaugh, so this should be interesting.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
Bye.
All right, Pitkin, the line is free, sir. So anytime you want to talk, call us up, Mr. Pit King person. Oh, here it is. Accept and call, and we'll have the speaker on. Hey, it's Gen G. Who is Kavanaugh? We're doomed.
Start the show over.
We are doomed. What's up, Distress? Alright, so he gave up. Boom. Pitt is unavailable. Yo, that was my brother. Who is your brother?
You gotta go on Skype and find Vin and Sori on Skype. Is this a Christian channel? Alec? No, Alec, we're atheists.
We're atheists secretly pretending to be Christians,
Right.
so that we could make Christians into atheists. What do you think about boroughs? Like the Bronx, Brooklyn, New York? What are you talking about? No, I'm not going to call you. Why would I call you? I have Skype. Don't come to my show making demands, telling me to call you. What's wrong with people? Hello, who am I speaking with?
Oh, whoops. I just got two people confused. K2 and KZ are two different people.
Yes, I know that. You have problems.
Never mind, K2.
Hello, who am I speaking with?
Hi, this is James.
All right, James, what's up, bruv?
And then, just a couple of questions from all over the...
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up, bruv?
Hey, where did you two guys meet, actually?
We met at a Bible study.
Oh, okay. Was it a love at first sight?
No, we were friends at first sight. Well,
I loved Sawyer immediately, but it's hard to explain. I loved her spirit. I loved her spirituality. It was a completely... It wasn't.
I judged him at first sight.
She judged me at first, but it was. I don't want. It was platonic in the sense that there was no like erotic feelings for her, but I loved her spirituality and her passion for God. So like I immediately loved that. She was the most serious person in the group about God, and at the time I was having a hard time finding, any sort of kindred spirit who was that serious. So it was her, and then this other guy. That came later, and then we were kind of like a little mini trio within the group.
Okay. Are you guys big travelers?
We're gonna be starting next year. I was a big my work. I was in another line of I guess you could say business. It required me to travel a lot, but that wasn't the best thing for my family. So we're not big travelers now.
Was it mainly stateside traveling, or was it all over the world?
I mean, it was around. Why? What's up?
Have you been to Europe?
Why are you asking me all these questions?
I know, this is an interrogation.
I'm getting to the point. Have you been to Europe?
Yes.
Okay, maybe now the question. Why do you think Europeans think that Americans keep voting against their economic interest?
Against Europe's economic interest or against our own economic interest?
Against your own economic interest.
I'm not sure that all Europeans believe that we're voting against our own economic interests. You mean for voting for Trump?
No, not necessarily for Trump. I mean, in general. I mean, how much time did you spend in Europe?
I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to answer that question. Why are you asking me about how much time I spent in Europe?
Well, I mean, was it enough time for you to experience the lifestyle and see what people are getting from their governments or from their taxes? Which is what I mean by voting against economic interest.
Okay, so are you talking about the fact that Americans are still clinging to a capitalist economic system, which then goes against their interest?
No, not necessarily. I mean, Western Europe is fundamentally capitalist with a lot of social programs, right?
Right. That's why, Europe is not an economic monolith, right?
Yes, I agree, but a lot of the countries in the West have embraced a lot of what's considered to be socialist programs, such as universal health care, such as free college,
right?
Such as legally mandated 6 weeks of paid vacation, paid sick leaves, maternity leaves up to 2 years, and so on and so forth. And that's basically the economic interest I am talking about. Comparing the two continents.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. I think when Americans are against what you just described specifically, that in the main they're operating against their own interests for sure. For sure.
Is it only in the main?
Well, I mean, look, if I make more than $400,000 a year, then I wouldn't be going against my own economic interests, right? As a matter of fact, it would be working the other way. Because I benefit more economically if I can circulate that money within my own crew and make myself more rich than if I had folks in the lower middle class go up to closer to where I am. Because then you got inflation, you got a whole bunch of other issues, right? So I benefit from keeping people in a lower economic strata than me systemically.
So is the $400,000 the threshold?
Well, that would put me within about the top 2.5-3% of the economy, of the richest economy in the world, right?
Actually, 100,000 would put you in among top 1% of the country.
Okay. So 400 would
400,000 would probably put you among top 0.5. Believe it or not.
I believe it. So that would be even more reason for. So economically speaking, I wouldn't be going against my own interest in that situation.
So do you think there's any hope, quote unquote, for the state electorate to embrace those type of programs?
Of course.
Within foreseeable future.
Yeah, I do actually. I think that eventually liberals or leftists or whatever they call themselves are going to learn their lesson as to why Trump kept getting elected. I think you had a viable candidate in Bernie Sanders who could have really challenged Trump, but the Democratic Party decided to hack the vote away from him. I mean, we were very, very close to that, right? The emergence of Cortez. I don't think she's a serious presidential candidate, but the fact that the energy's out there means that, there's enough there to where we could get there. We just need leftists to stop destroying the movement by creating, re-election bulletin board material for Trump and his supporters.
Yeah, which basically what's differentiate the left in Europe and the left in America, because the left in Europe doesn't really come up with that kind of bullshit.
Right.
They really focus on what benefits the populace.
Right. There's a very detailed, focused presentation of the issues to the people without all the other fluttery bullshit, which American liberals haven't figured out yet.
In one of your answers, you equated communism with gulags and 100 million people dead. But I'm assuming you probably know a little bit more about communism from a philosophical standpoint.
Yeah, I get the philosophy. One of the things about me is my worldview has to work on the ground. I don't give a damn about the philosophy. I want to know how the philosophy was enacted by human beings on the ground. And when it was enacted by human beings on the ground, millions of people were killed, their property was taken, and they got sent to the gulags or re-education camps in China. So I know how the philosophy looks on paper, and if you're asking me on paper, look, if philosophically speaking, the way that communism is presented, which I'm sure you're going to present to me a very compelling case for communism, I wouldn't have I wouldn't have a problem with it as far as like if I could enact it in the real world. The problem is that it has shown itself to be inoperable when in the hands of sinful human beings.
I wholeheartedly agree. Unfortunately, the Russians bastardized it.
Well, so did the Chinese then.
So did the Chinese, that's true.
And obviously Maoism and Leninism are not exactly the same. They're nuanced, but at the end of the day, Millions of people kept dying, and whoever's version of communism you want to call Orthodox communism, people still ended up dead by the millions.
True, but you can basically apply the same thing to the Catholicism, correct?
Yeah, but I'm not a Roman Catholic. So I have a Roman Catholic in the room. I don't know where he is, but you know, there you are. But I'm sorry, even Roman Catholics, look, what the communists accomplished in the 20th century. The communists had 1 century. The Catholics have had, 15, and they were not able to kill 5% as many people as the communists did in 1 century. That says a lot.
Well, they didn't have the weaponry.
Well, look, we crossed the 18th, 19th, 20th century, right?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. They didn't have the weaponry, but the problem is that communists systematized massacring people. That's the difference.
It had the means for it.
Well, they had the means and the mind for it. Roman Catholics never systematized killing at the level that the communists did. If they did, the Protestant Reformation would have never gotten off the ground, right?
Well, they did enough harm in Europe for Europeans to turn away from religion.
No, I know that the Roman Catholics were not a very good representative of Christianity in Europe. What I'm saying is, if you want to talk about lethality, nobody holds the candle to communism. And I'm not defending Catholicism in any way, shape, or form, because, like I said, I'm a Protestant. I'm just saying it's not even close.
Well, I agree. They definitely maximize the use of the tools, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
They invested heavily into persecution and into getting rid of the so-called class enemy.
Well, yeah. It's like we said in the last review. Is like if your resistance movement to overcome oppression is based on hate, you're going to become an oppressor. And I think the 20th century bore that out.
Okay. Maybe a last question regarding music.
Sure.
What do you consider the best metal era?
The new metal era of the mid 90s and early 2000s.
Why is that?
Because that's when I came into metal. I'm saying that tongue in cheek.
Right.
When I listened to Dio,
mm-hmm.
If Dio was around during Metallica years, because I'm one of the things I've learned about this channel is that I'm extremely ignorant of metal history. So if Dio was around during the Master of Puppets era, 80s thrash, I'd have to probably say that would have been probably the best era. I just go ahead.
No. I was going to say that they unfortunately predate that era. They were still on the heavy hard rock kind of side that was progressing towards the thrash metal. Metallica was pretty much the one that took it to another level.
Yeah. I have respect for Slayer. I don't really think that their musicianship is... Like, when I hear Metallica and Slayer get mentioned together, I'm like, I just think the musicianship is they're miles apart as far as intricacy and talent and growing album to album, at least from the few songs I've heard of both bands. But probably that thrash era is probably my favorite time right now. But new metal, the new metal era is always going to have a
special place,
right? Because that's what brought me in. There would be no channel if it wasn't for that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, understood. They're pretty decent or pretty good European thrash metals around the same time when Metallica launched. Are you familiar with groups like Creator or Creator, Destruction or Sodom.
Yeah, people have been hounding us to do Creator over and over again. So maybe, once we go to take a plane and go to Europe on the channel, that'll give me a more fuller understanding of what the thrash genre really was.
Yeah, that's one of the few bands that actually still play until today. And if you ever pick up an album from them to react to, I would strongly recommend Pleasure to Kill. That's probably a forefather of, or grandfather of a death metal as a genre.
So what how do I phrase this? What's like the signature Creator song? Say it that way.
Well, that album is very complex. It's a Speed of a Slayer with musical changes of Metallica. It's not the singing or the vocals. Well, you can't really call it singing, to be honest. The vocals are one of the worst in my opinion, but obviously subjective, in history of metal. But the musicianship is exquisite. So from that particular album, if I could recommend, probably Under the Guillotine or Command of the Blade, as well as the signature title song, Pleasure to Kill.
Okay.
That'll give you a pretty decent idea about what those guys are capable of. They later on moved towards some political or politically charged songs, so they left that death metal genre lyrically, and then they went after or into an anti-religion arena. But that particular album is considered one of the almost on the same level as Metallica's Master of Puppets.
Whoa. Okay, hey, do me a favor.
Especially in New York, though.
Do me a favor. I really want to look at these guys. So do me a favor if you could and send me a follow-up email.
Okay.
With that, vinandsori@gmail.com.
All right. And I'll send you some more about Destruction, because they pretty much fall into the same category. They were on the scene at the same time, and these guys were more like the pioneers of death/black metal. And they're also still playing out there and still pretty popular on the European, especially on the European scene.
Okay. Thank you, my guy. Have a good one.
You too. Take care.
CLC. What's CLC? Corrosion of conformity? No. Are you sure that wasn't really Liam Nielsen on the phone? We've had nothing. No, I'm sure that wasn't Liam Nielsen on the phone. Vin, what do you think of China cracking down on religion and Christians? Good. That's the way it's supposed to go. That means that they're doing what they're supposed to do. Because if you're doing Christianity properly, you're supposed to get persecuted. Ain't that right, Dirk Diggler? Yo! Who's this?
Hello?
Who's this?
I'm Adam. I'm in North Carolina, man. I just want to call and say what's up to you guys. Not really interested in intellectualizing the world's problems or anything, but you guys are pretty awesome, man. I just wanted to share the love. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate you, my guy. How did you hear us?
What's up?
How did you hear us? How'd you find us?
I don't know, man. Your stuff just popped up in the news feed because, I really like Tool, and you guys did a lot of reactions to Tool, so.
My guy, we're about to do a Tool. How do you pronounce it? Anima?
I don't know. I just say Enema.
Enema. Okay, good. So an Enema album review. So we're gonna listen to it straight through live in this format, like start to finish.
Dude, you're gonna love Disgustipated. Hey, listen, I don't know if you've ever heard the band Caius. I don't really care if you do a reaction video, but purely for the sake of enjoying metal, you should definitely listen to Demon Cleaner.
What's it called?
Demon Cleaner.
Okay. Whoa, that's a cool title. Okay.
Yeah. All right, man. Peace out.
All right, buddy. Much love. That was cool. So Vince's entire goal in life is to get persecuted. No, my entire goal in life is not to get persecuted. My entire goal in life is to glorify God and enjoy Him forever. However, Jesus did say that if we're doing Christianity right, we would be persecuted. So, I mean, I pray for those guys. I pray for them to have strength, and I pray for them to maintain their testimony. But, I mean, it happens. You know? So, there you go. We've already done Perfect Circle, Judish. Yes, Tazzy. Light of Day. What happened to Sori? Sori's out with the kids or something, so she abandoned me. I just texted her. I said, where are you at, babe? Where are you at? You know what would help Christians in China? Secularism. I think it's the secularists who are persecuting the Christians in China, Alec. Oh my gosh. Thank you for telling everybody in chat that you were taking a shower. I had no fucking clue where you were.
I thought you were reading as I was writing.
Maybe they deserve it. The Chinese are atheists. Well, the Chinese are atheists, but then somebody's going to tell me that their atheism has nothing to do with their persecution of Christians. And even if the Chinese come out and say it's our atheism that's making us fuck up these Christians, I'm sure we're going to have people in the channel that say, no, it has nothing to do with it. So I'm not touching it. The best metal banner ever is Black Sabbath, closely followed by Gojira. I like Gojira a lot. There's something about them. There's something about Gojira
I think
that
you like their complex, abstract lyrics. Do you?
Well, a lot of people have complex and abstract. No, I like their musicianship as much as I like their lyrics. So, would I ever react to Venom? Yes. I thought the Chinese rescinded that one-child policy. We do need some more Gojira, it's true. I have Gojira tattooed on my body, so I'm biased. Case 2. Emailed you guys about an article that talks about a study which shows unborn babies feel pain by 8 weeks. Has some interesting info. Makes me sick we allow abortions, much less after 8 weeks. There you go, Case 2. There you go. And, you know, to your point, it's a really fucked up thing to go, oops, about 55 million babies later. So, did you hear that?
Yeah, I know.
Some article.
8 weeks.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
I mean, the
It's
heart
tough.
is beating really soon.
If heaven exists, is life necessary? Yes. I told you guys, she's got the cleanest hair ever.
I know. I wash it every day. You're not supposed to do that, but I don't know. I don't know.
Look, there it is. There it is. What's happening in China has nothing to do with atheism.
There it is. Of
Vin is an
course not.
evangelical, so he needs to straw man atheism in order to have something to attack. I am also a prophet. Nothing to do with atheism. Okay. Who am I? It's unbelievable to me.
Yes, I know, KZ. That's my point.
I'm starting to figure these people out. Hello.
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 Because I remembered something on the second subject, on whether or not the founding fathers being atheist or Christian or whatever.
Well, the subject line says we're the founding fathers secularists.
Right. Yeah. Well, basically, to my recollection, most of them were like really good cultural Christians with deistic leanings.
Well, I agree. I think they were, culturally Christian, and were deistic in conviction. Right. I agree.
But honestly, the guy that had the best name, Thomas Paine, I wanted to bring him up, all right?
Yep.
I gave myself a quick reminder crash course. Remember everything I had learned previously.
Hold on, my brother. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Samuli. After I'm done talking to my homie right here, I need you to call me and tell me which arguments I'm ignoring. I don't understand this. I talked to Arn Raw for 2.5 hours. But I'm somehow ignoring people on a YouTube channel.
Oh, I know. You could call in.
Unbelievable. Okay, let's see if Samuli calls in. Do you want to make a bet?
No, because I don't think he's going to.
Okay, I'm sorry, my brother.
I only bet if I know I'm going to win.
Okay, Thomas Paine.
Anyway, basically, Thomas Paine was like a guy who basically was really like vehemently secularist, going on about how it's all a fable and just getting on the skin of his teacher Benjamin Franklin. The guy was a jerk. So I think he was the one that people based the notion on, maybe that they were all deists or secularists.
Well,
My
good friend who has devoted his life to science and hasn't devoted himself to history, said that the Establishment Clause equates to secularism. And I was trying to explain to him the concept of freedom of conscience in the Roman Catholic v. Protestant discussion. So, anyway. But yeah, thanks for the call. Samuli is going to call me from Skype. Yeah, Samuli. Skype. Vin and Sori. Vin and Sori on Skype. Did you have anything else to say, my brother? I'm talking to you.
RW, you don't get fired.
Caller. Can't believe
Ernie Eastman, why are there pictures of Adam and Eve with belly buttons? I don't know. Somebody didn't think it through, I guess. I used to work at a grocery store, and there was this man, Ernie Eastman, that used to come in, and he was so mean, and I finally won him over, so he was nice, and he would talk to me. It was cool.
All right. Hello, are you Samuli?
I still don't believe it, Colton. I don't believe that it was him.
What?
He said, sorry, you could have won the bet.
Are we getting a draconian interview? I don't know. I haven't checked Facebook to see if the big homie responded to me yet.
I have never seen him eat pizza rolls. He probably doesn't even eat them. Do you eat those things?
Okay.
I don't think he eats them.
Okay, Alec. It's the atheists who are killing all those Christians, not the secularists. I'll happily concede that. Once again, atheists are running around systematically destroying people. We saw this in the 20th century, and now here we are in 2018, and the damn secularists are at it. The atheists are at it again.
Gross. Peyton, that's disgusting, and I would never do it.
Okay. Samuli.
You call in with Skype. Look for Vin and Sori.
Samuli is going to download Skype.
Really?
But not because of atheism, right? Atheism has nothing to do why the state atheists are killing people.
Have you ever read any Graham Hancock?
No, but I've seen hours and hours of interviews. Or, I don't know if it was an interview with him or somebody else that was closely related to Hancock. He's the DMT guy, right? Is he the DMT guy?
Benjamin, be a good runner. I think.
Oh, there's Ben. Here it is again. This is literally hilarious because what's his name? Dirk called this out. He goes, thanks for the concession, Vin. However, atheism does not logically lead to any actions. Stop being an obtuse liar. Of course it doesn't. Atheism has no implications whatsoever. It's just, maybe we should explain this. We should have explained this to Yarlovsky over there in the USSR and the good people over there in China. They had no idea that atheism has any moral implications.
I don't know.
Oh, gosh. Well, GeoFlip, call me. Call me and we'll have a discussion. Yeah, so we're working on Devin Townsend and we're working on a couple other things. So, for sure. I know, Tag. I think it's great. You wouldn't be going after them if there wasn't a problem. Okay. And here's Alex. Vin complaining militaristic Marxism and state-enforced religious oppression with non-belief in God is his kink. I didn't say that it was state-enforced atheism. Alex said it was state-enforced atheism. I don't... I don't get it.
Good night, Jen.
I don't get these. Colton, atheism has no implications whatsoever. That Nietzsche devoting his entire professional life to trying to figure out the ramifications of atheism. No, that was a complete waste of time. We now have Facebook and YouTube to inform us that atheism has zero implications on every sphere of life. It's unbelievable.
Oh my gosh. I fucking should have bet with
You should have had the bet.
I should have. I did not think he was going to call, though.
Hello,
Who's on the phone?
Samuli here.
Talk to me, Samuli.
Yeah, Samuli here. Calling from Finland.
All right, my brother. Talk to me. Set me straight.
Yeah. You said I said that you are not answering. I didn't mean that you're not answering the arguments.
Well,
I meant that you're not letting the idea in. You're responding the questions, but you're not thinking the argument through that people are saying to you.
Okay. So give me the argument and show me what it would look like if I was thinking it through.
No, you know the basic ones, the God of the gaps and those arguments.
Well, nobody made any God of the Gaps arguments. What are you talking about?
Have made through time. I have been watching your channel long ago. So.
You think the God of the Gaps argument?
I don't have anything new to say to you. You have heard all the arguments that atheists make.
So your argument is that I don't think things through, but you don't have any specific examples of arguments that I don't think through?
Yeah. You answer the questions, but you're not letting the idea in. You just block the ideas. Anything beyond the religion, you're answering from the rules that you have been told from the religious people. You have I'm sorry for my English isn't.
No, your English is great, brother. I think the issue is that I don't believe in the concept of neutrality. Nobody's neutral on any topic. So the difference is that I'm honest about my presuppositions. What are your presuppositions?
Yeah, that's probably right. That when you're saying that nobody is neutral in anything, but that's exactly what you should try to be.
Why should I try to be neutral?
Because it's giving you the space to think in every angle. Okay. So let's go with that for a second and see if this works.
with epistemology. So I'm going to make a statement, and I want you to tell me honestly if you're going to look at this neutrally, okay?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah. Sure.
Killing people is a good thing.
I don't think there is such a thing as good or bad. Everything is like you need to put everything in concept. If you are killing the man who is serial killer and killing millions of people, that might be a good thing.
Hey, let me say it another way. Killing innocent people is a good thing. Are you gonna?
Such a thing that's good and bad. There is always a concept that needs to be taken into the thinking. So if the I think it is.
Are you saying I should neutrally?
You can say it's bad thing to kill innocent people, of course, but if you're just saying that killing is good or bad.
No, I just said killing innocent people.
Need to put it in the context.
I just did. Here's the context. Killing innocent people is good. Now, are you saying I should neutrally measure whether or not that's a good principle? I should be completely neutral about that. How I answer that question.
I'm not sure what you're meaning with this.
In other words, my perspective would say, no, killing innocent people is never good, and I'm not going to be neutral about what my opinion is. I'm not going to sit and hear you out while you explain to me why killing people is a good thing. You see? But you're...
I actually think that you should listen to people and hear their opinion.
So I should...
I think it would be a good thing because there might be something that you don't know yet. But that way you should be neutral. But of course, innocent people killing without good reason isn't good thing.
Well, why are you saying of course? That sounds to me like you have a bias. Doesn't sound like you're measuring that idea neutrally. It seems like you have a bias against killing innocent people. Isn't that true? Don't you have a bias against killing innocent people?
We have a language barrier. I don't know that one word you're saying it.
What I'm saying is,
what does Mr.
Let me say it another way. You are not neutral when it comes to the concept of killing innocent people. You think it's wrong. Right?
I don't believe there is absolute right and absolute wrong and absolute good and absolute evil. Like there is always a concept that you need to put in.
Okay, so let me make this statement there. There is such a thing as absolute good and evil.
No, there isn't.
Okay, so then you are not neutral when it comes to that principle, are you?
I am, because I'm taking. I put it in the concept, and it would be like there is always two sides, or more in every.
Yeah, my brother, you don't you see how you contradicted yourself? I made a
no such thing as black and white. There is always the gray area.
Okay, there is such a thing as black and white. True or false?
No, false.
Okay.
There is.
So then you.
There is very dark gray and very light gray.
Okay, my brother, what you just demonstrated is that you were.
White, there is just shades of gray.
Okay, don't you realize that you've just demonstrated that you are not neutral when it comes to that idea?
I don't know what you mean by that. It being neutral is like, for me, it's like taking all the angles
Okay.
into the thinking. Where,
All right. Well,
so
thank you for calling.
yeah, and do the Nightwish song.
Have a good one, bro.
You know what I'm talking about.
I didn't hear that last part. What was the last thing you said?
Yeah, do the Nightwish song, the greatest show on earth.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's asking.
I have been telling that for a while.
Everybody was asking about that, so yeah, we're definitely gonna do that one. For sure.
Thank you.
All right, bro.
I like the reaction videos, even if we don't agree with those religion and politics and anything else.
I appreciate that, my brother. I love you. Have a good one.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, Steve White. Uzzah shouldn't have been touching the ark, man. What's wrong with him? Who am I speaking to? Hello.
Hey, Vin. It's Gio.
What's up, Gio?
How's it going?
Hey, Gio.
Hey, Sori. Feel better.
Thanks.
Who's Gio?
Gio Flip. It's actually Jeff, by the way, but I'll go with Gio. It's all good.
All right, Gio, what's up, bruh?
So you said you're blaming this whole, persecution on atheism. This is the problem I have with that.
Hey, stop right there. Stop right there. My brother, if you go into the chat and scroll up, you'll see that Alec Ashmore said that it was enforced state atheism that was persecuting the Chinese Christians. I was calling it secularism, and then Alec corrected me. So don't say that I'm blaming the atheists. I am actually repeating the phrase that the atheist in the room used.
I don't give a shit about Alec. What I'm saying...
Well, I want you to give a shit about facts. Don't say I said it. I didn't say it.
Okay. My question is, so your opinion on what's going on in China, for instance, with the Christians being persecuted, what's the reason behind that? It's secularism, not atheism?
No, I'm taking Alec, as I was saying, which is why I stopped you, so that you wouldn't go down the wrong path. Alex,
No, I'm asking you.
Well, I don't know enough about the situation, so I'm just taking Alex's word for it. I know what happened in the USSR. I'm very, very familiar about what happened there. But
Okay, go ahead. Let's talk about the USSR. Was it atheism?
Well, sure it was.
Okay, so this is what I'm trying to say. To blame it on atheism is a very... You're on very thin ice, because that's like saying, if I don't believe in unicorns, right, that's going to make me go do something because I don't believe in something. There shouldn't even be a word for atheism. There's no word for not believing in a teacup that's revolving around and controlling my thoughts because I don't believe in it, right? There's no athe teacup, right? So there shouldn't even be a word called atheism. Atheism doesn't make you do something. Most atheists don't think alike. That's not the point. Atheism is just a descriptor for somebody who doesn't accept that there is a creator, that there is a God that cares. That's all it is. So whatever philosophy somebody uses to persecute somebody else, it's not the atheism that they're using. You can't blame the atheism. You can blame communism. You can blame Marxism. You can blame socialism,
Okay.
as in the Nazis.
Okay, Gio.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying that atheism as a worldview carries with it zero implications?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, so you have a base presupposition, which is your statement, and then you have the implications as to what follows from it. Let me give you an example.
Please.
Jesus claimed to be God. He rose from the dead. Therefore, his claim to be God is true.
Well, I don't accept that.
No. I'm just showing you. I'm just showing you what an implication is.
Okay.
Okay.
How's that an implication?
The an implication is the logical next steps that follow from a presupposition.
So what's the implication there? That Jesus is God because he said he was? What's the
No,
implication?
he's God because he rose from the dead. So the base presupposition is that he rose from the dead. And so what logically follows from that is that everything he said about himself is true. That's an implication. So now I'm going to ask you,
if you accept that.
Does atheism carry any implications?
The only implication that atheism carries is that you don't accept a creator.
No. That's not an implication. That's your base. No. That's your base presupposition. What I'm asking you is there anything logically that follows from that?
No, not necessarily.
Okay, so you agree with your friend, who is it?
Alec, I don't know.
No, Ben. You agree with Ben that atheism carries zero implications.
Go Ben.
Okay, well, it's... Let me ask you a question.
Ben rocks.
Do you know who Emilian Yarlovsky is?
I don't.
Okay, so
Educate me.
I understand why you say that atheism had nothing to do with what happened in the USSR. But Emilian Yarlovsky was one of Lenin's henchmen, and he led a group called the League of the Militant Godless. And he said explicitly that the reason that their brand of communism was successful was because it was permeated with the spirit of militant atheism.
Okay.
He said explicitly that his atheism was driving him to do the evil shit that he was doing, and that his communism was a substrata of his atheism. So what? Hold on. So from the very people who committed the actions of destroying churches and killing nuns and priests, he said explicitly that it was his atheism that was motivating him. Now, I know that you're not familiar with him, so I would encourage...
I'll accept that that's what he said. That's fine.
Okay.
I won't argue that. What I will say is that the son of Sam said that dogs told him to murder people in 1978 or whenever it was.
I agree.
That doesn't mean that dogs did it.
No.
By the same token, it doesn't mean that atheism... Dogs aren't to blame for the son of Sam. This guy had a crazy idea, and he blamed used atheism.
Why is it crazy? Why is it crazy?
What do you mean?
Why is it a crazy idea? You said that it was that Yarlovsky had a crazy idea. Why was his idea crazy?
No, I'm saying because he did some bad things. I mean, a lot of people died.
What makes them bad? What makes them bad? Why is it bad to kill?
A lot of people died in the name of communism. That's what I'm talking about.
No, it was the name of atheism. Why was it bad to do that, though?
It was... why was what bad to do it? Kill people?
Why is it bad to kill people? Because you just said atheism carries no implications, so you can't really speak on the morality of that, can you?
Sure I can. Morality has nothing to do with God. Morality has to do with what's right for society. Our morality has changed over the years many times.
Who determines what's right for society?
Certainly not God. I mean, God said, hey,
I know God's
own people. Go ahead, rape people.
Well, hold on, Gio, God's out of the picture because you're an atheist. I'm in your world. Who determines what's right for society?
Society.
Okay, so if the Nazi society decides they want to liquidate all Jews, then that's okay.
I didn't say it's okay. I said that's what they determined.
Well, no. You said,
words,
hold on.
Overall, society, see, I have a very rosy outlook on society. Overall, people are good. I don't think in general people are bad.
What does good mean?
People are good. And people as a whole will get together and decide...
Gio, what does good mean?
I'm using the term, for lack of a better term.
No, I want you to... Don't, I know. Just condescend to come to my level and explain what good means. What does good mean?
I'm explaining it.
Okay.
What good means is what's beneficial to society as a whole. And when I say society, I mean the human race. I don't mean, any particular country or any particular belief system.
So all human beings.
Yes.
Why should we care about all human beings? I only care about my tribe.
It's in our benefit to care about all human beings. That's how we got this far to begin with.
No, it's not. Genghis, look.
Yes, it is. Hold on. Let me finish.
Okay.
You asked me a question. I'll answer. Human beings, we evolved to have bigger brains, but in evolving to have bigger brains, we lost brawn. And in order to survive, we had to help each other. And ever since then, it's been in our benefit to do good between human beings. So that became what we are today.
Well, you keep assuming this term "good" as if there was some objective standard for good.
I don't think there's an objective standard for good.
Right. So what's good for you might be different for me, right?
Sure.
Okay, so it's good for me to just worry about my tribe and kill everybody else.
Okay. You think that's good for you?
Sure.
It's probably not good for you, but you think that's good.
No, I mean Genghis Khan went around and did that, and he took care of Asia by himself. He was fine.
Well, he wasn't fine. He died. He's gone.
Everybody dies, bruh.
Right. Okay. So what's your point? I don't understand your
Well,
point.
for him, good was conquering as many people as he could.
Okay.
Okay. So then his definition of good and yours are exactly the same. Then they have equal value.
I mean, I don't agree with his definition of good, obviously, but okay, whatever. I don't care whether my definition of good and his definition of good are of equal value.
Right.
What I'm saying is that in today's day and age, what's good for, and I'm using the word, I always taught my kids, it's not a question of good and bad. It's a question of, consequences, actions and consequences. So if you take a specific action, there's always a consequence. So when I say good, what I mean is what you want to do, make laws and do the things that will have the best consequences for the human race, which will benefit you and your family and your tribe.
Let me ask you a question. How many poor kids do you feed in Africa?
Me personally?
Yep.
Not many.
How many?
Over my lifetime?
No.
6.
I'm talking about right now in your life. How many poor African kids are you supporting?
Probably 0.
Okay. So are you a good person or a bad person?
Why is that determining whether I'm a good person or a bad person?
Can you just answer my question?
I think I'm a good person.
Okay. So
although my ex-wife might not think so.
So you are basically do you have kids?
I have 2 kids, yeah.
You take care of them?
They're adults. They take care of themselves. But I did take care of them when they were younger.
And if they were kids now, you'd be taking care of them, right?
I certainly would.
Like if one of them ran into a bad situation now, you'd take care of them?
Yes.
Okay, so let me get this right. You are caring for your specific tribe and doing nothing for people that you know are suffering right now. But
that's incorrect.
But you're a good person.
No, that's incorrect. I don't agree with that statement.
Okay,
I'm not doing anything for people I don't know.
That's
incorrect.
Are you doing everything you possibly can to alleviate human suffering?
There's always more one can do to alleviate human suffering, but in general, I absolutely do help people I don't know.
That's not the question I'm asking you. The question I'm asking.
I know. I'm trying to figure out why you're asking me this question.
Don't worry about why. I just want you to answer it honestly. You know that there are people suffering in Africa, yeah?
I do.
And you're currently not helping them.
Correct.
But your children, you're helping them.
I'm not helping my children currently.
Well, you said you would if they were in a jam.
I would, and if I knew an African that was in a jam and he needed, $10, I'd give him $10.
Well, your definition of good has nothing to do with knowing the person. Your definition of good is what's going to benefit the human race, right?
That's true.
Okay. So you're not doing everything you can to benefit the human race, are you?
I don't think anybody is doing everything they can.
I just need you to answer my question, bro.
I'm answering your question.
It's a yes or no question.
Everybody is doing everything they possibly can to help the human race.
I'll ask you that.
I think that's a possible thing.
I'll ask you that in a second. You're not doing everything you possibly can, are you? Yes or no?
No, I am not.
But you're still a good person.
I think I'm a good person.
Okay, so that just shows that it's clear that you're living inconsistent with your definition of good, but you still call yourself good. So
that's incorrect. That's incorrect.
So
I didn't. What you're saying is that I'm supposed to be the best person in the world, and then you're using that as, so you're not the best person you could possibly be.
No.
Then you're not good.
That's not what I'm saying.
Nothing to do with the other. Yes, you're saying you're not doing every possible thing you can do.
Can I tell you what I'm saying? Can I tell you what I'm saying?
Sure.
There is a disconnect between your action and your philosophy. That's what I'm saying. I said nothing to you because what you said is your definition of good, which is you admitted is subjective. Can you admit that your definition is subjective?
Of course it's subjective.
So it's a matter of opinion.
Yes.
Okay. So it's like, who's better, Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers? Right?
Where are you going with this, Ben? I'm trying to understand. I don't know how we got to this from.
Well,
I think we took us off on a tangent.
No, I'll explain it. I'll show you how everything comes together in 2 seconds. You're saying that your definition of good is your subjective opinion, which has just as much value as an Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady discussion. Okay. And the reason you're saying that is you have no other choice but to say that because you're an atheist and you don't believe there's a God. And because there's a God, there's no external arbiter of objective morality, is there?
Correct.
Okay. And what I just showed you is a major contradiction in your thought process because you said that atheism carries with it no implications. But that that construction that you said 10 minutes ago, atheism doesn't have any implications. Are you now saying that atheism does have implications?
I'm listening to what you're saying.
Okay.
Say that again.
So the idea that there's no objective morality because there's no God is an implication of atheism.
Okay, so in that sense, everything has implications, so sure, atheism has implications.
Okay, now that you've conceded that atheism has implications, yes. Emilian Yarlovsky took certain implications from his atheism that you disagree with, but at the end of the day, it was an implication of his atheism.
Okay, so what you're saying is that atheism is bad because of what this one individual did?
Nope.
In the name of using atheism as his modus operandi? No,
I don't believe. See, I'm glad. You know what I really appreciate about you? Is that you're honest in conceding that atheism has implications. And I love that you asked me that question. Now I get to actually make the statement I've been trying to make for 2 months.
Go ahead.
Here's my statement. Emilian Yarlovsky and the shit that's happening in China does not prove that atheism is bad. What it proves is that human beings are bad. Not that atheism is bad. Human beings are bad.
Some human beings are bad.
Well, hold on. Let me finish my point. The majority of the support that I get on Patreon are from atheists.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
I have received gifts that I would love to share with you guys that I got because I'm so grateful. But the atheist bound me to secrecy because he was such a humble dude that he didn't want any recognition for it.
Excellent.
So I do not believe that atheism makes people into bad people. One of my best friends in the channel, Alec, is an atheist, and I love him, and I think he's great, and I think he's going to change the world. Literally.
Awesome.
He's a scientist. So here's my point. Atheism has implications, and if you put a gun in the hand of a good person, they'll use it for good. If you put a gun in the hand of a bad person, they'll use it for evil. And those are the facts. If you and Alex and the dude that bought me the great present somehow ended up ruling a country, I do not believe that you guys would go around oppressing people. As a
You're
matter of
probably
fact,
right.
as a matter of fact, I believe wholeheartedly that I would probably flee a Christian country to go take refuge in your guys' country.
Awesome.
Because I believe that human beings are generally bad unless they've been given grace by God to overcome their own inner evil. So thank you for admitting that atheism carries implications. And what that means is Yorlovsky was motivated by implications from his atheism. Now, you might argue that those were bad implications. Fine. But they were still implications rooted in his atheism.
But you can say the same thing about Christianity and Judaism and Islam and all the other religions. You can say the exact same thing.
Well, the difference with Christianity is that we actually have an external arbiter to tell us what's good and bad. You don't.
Right. That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
And the things that he said are some horrific stuff.
Okay, so Christianity, do me a favor and define Christianity for me.
Believers in Christ, followers in Christ.
Okay, how about this? I'm gonna give you a definition of Christianity and you tell me if you think it's a sufficient definition. Okay. Belief in the teachings and life and example of Jesus of Nazareth.
Okay.
Is that a sufficient definition of Christianity?
It can be, sure.
Okay. Now, do me a favor and tell me some of these horrific teachings of Jesus of Nazareth.
Are we counting the Old Testament?
Nope.
Why are we not counting the Old Testament?
Because Jesus wasn't teaching in the Old Testament.
Okay. Jesus in Mark 7:1-15. Jesus said he was bitching about the laws, and he said something about washing hands and that you don't need to do that, and you shouldn't do that. That was a terrible thing. If Jesus was a deity, if Jesus was God, he'd know that, whatever. They're doing it for whatever reasons they're doing it, but washing your hands is a great thing. How many people died because they didn't wash their hands and got diseases after they wiped their asses?
I mean, is that your argument?
No, I'm giving you one particular thing.
I'm asking you.
Jesus isn't a deity.
Hold on for a second. I'm seriously asking you.
Yeah.
When you said horrific teachings, you're talking about Jesus's. You had in your mind Jesus saying that.
No. I'm thinking about the Abrahamic religions. I'm not specifically thinking Jesus specifically. I'm talking about all of the Abrahamic religions.
Well, you mentioned Christianity, so let's stay with that. What was the context of the argument about hand washing?
He was talking about the priests or whatever, like they force you, you got to do these laws, and we don't need to do those laws anymore. And one of them he mentioned was washing your hands.
What verse?
It's in Mark 7:1-15, somewhere in there.
Okay, and
he blames disease on demons.
Well, hold on. You brought up Mark 7. So, the passage is talking about the Pharisees will not eat unless their hands had a ceremonial washing. Do you know what a ceremonial washing is?
I do. I grew up with it.
Do you know what Second Temple ceremonial washing is?
I do.
What is Second Temple ceremonial washing?
Wash your hands before you eat something. I don't understand the question.
No, that is not Second Temple ceremonial washing.
Okay, explain.
You had to dip your hands in the water 7 times and say a prayer. Otherwise, you were ritually unclean.
Says who?
Says Josephus, says everybody who's tracked Second Temple religion. You don't really know what you're talking about, do you?
No, that's not true.
I'm not. I promise you. Okay, name me one scholar that says that Jesus is arguing here that you don't have to wash your hands.
He was specifically saying that you don't need to do all these things.
No, verse 3. Let me read verse 3 because you said Matthew 7 somewhere. So let me read the actual text to you. It says, the Pharisees and all the Jews do do not eat unless they give their hands a ceremonial washing, holding to the tradition of the elders. Notice it doesn't say washing.
Okay, let me
It
explain
says
to you what a
ceremonial washing.
Let me explain to you what ceremonial washing is in the Jewish tradition, and it's been the tradition since way back.
Hold on, I need you to talk about Second Temple Judaism, because that was
I'm talking about that.
That was the Judaism of Jesus's day, right?
That's where it's come from, and
Okay.
it's been a tradition with Orthodox Jews up until today. Before they eat, when they break bread, they wash their hands before they break bread. They wash their hands twice on each hand. Bada bing, bada boom. So they wash their hands before they eat. They make a blessing on the food. That's ceremonial washing.
My friend,
Mhm.
Are you saying that nobody in Jesus's day washed their hands other than ceremonial washing?
I don't understand the question.
Here's what I'm arguing, because maybe you're not understanding. There was a special religious rite that happened prior to eating that was more than just washing your hands. It was ceremonial. That's why the term ceremonial is attached to it.
Yes, and and the
Jesus-
Jews have done it till today.
Jesus is not arguing. Like, for example, I as a Christian would say you don't need to do ceremonial washing. Does that mean that I say that you don't have to wash your hands at all? It's a yes or no question.
No, that doesn't mean that I don't have to wash my hands at all. That doesn't mean you're telling me I don't have to wash my hands at all.
Okay. So that was pretty stupid. What's the other horrific what's the other horrific thing that Jesus taught?
Again, I'm talking about the Abrahamic religions.
No. You said Chris.
I'm not very versed in
Christy.
Jesus' teachings and Christianity.
That's
I can look
obvious.
stuff up. I'm sure I can find it. But what I'm saying is that the Abrahamic religions in general have done some horrible things, and the morality there are horrible. Wasn't Jesus okay with slavery?
Where did Jesus say he was ever okay with slavery?
I'm asking. I know that the Old Testament is certainly okay with slavery, and so is the Quran. I can't imagine
the Old Testament is okay with slavery. The Old Testament is okay with slavery. That's why the first bad guys against the people of God were Egyptians who were enslaving God's people.
That's pretty ironic, right? I mean, if you look at the laws in the Old Testament, there are laws about owning a Jewish slave and laws about owning a non-Jewish slave, and how to how to treat a Jewish slave. How did
people end up in slavery in the Old Testament? Do you know?
It depends. They either conquered the place and they collected slaves, or you could be a slave by servitude if you owed somebody money or whatever.
Oh, because they didn't have a welfare system, right?
That's not my point.
Hold on. It's important.
Are you really about to defend slavery in the Old Testament? Is that where you're going?
Well,
is that really where you're going?
My brother, what I want to do is have an honest discussion.
Yeah.
Okay? And I don't want to be condescending to you. But here are the facts. In the ancient Near East, there was no welfare system. So if you got yourself in debt, what you would do is you would sell yourself to a person to work yourself off of the debt.
I need to stop you for 1 second there. Okay, Vin? First of all,
stop me.
There was a welfare system. In Jewish tradition, in the Old Testament, you were supposed to give 10% of whatever you had, and that would go, and a portion of that would go to the poor. Whatever fields you had to let a quarter of the field be able to have poor people come in and take from your field. There are definitely welfare ideas in the Old Testament.
My brother,
so,
the gleaning laws were not the equivalent of social welfare today, is it?
No, but I'm saying it's taking. Obviously,
Okay.
It's not the
Okay,
same.
so let's
if somebody's hungry, they can walk into your field and they can take some wheat and make themselves some bread. That's pretty progressive. That's pretty welfare.
Well, would help if the people of the day followed that law. But as you can see in the judgment oracles, they weren't even doing that.
But that's not the point. You asked if there was a welfare system.
No. When I say welfare system, what I'm saying is I'm using an anachronism. I'm talking about our current state of welfare was not applicable back then, was it?
Do you mean, was there a United States government that took money from people and gave welfare to other people?
Right, and set them up in public housing? There wasn't that, was it? Okay. Now, if you got yourself into exorbitant debt and owed me and you didn't have the means to pay me, how would you solve that problem?
That's one form of slavery.
There
are other forms of slavery. That's not the only form of slavery in the Old Testament.
Can you answer my question?
I'm conceding to you that if I wanted to be indebted to you and be a slave, an indentured slave, I had the choice back then to be an indentured slave.
Okay.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Now,
I'm talking about the other slave.
Gio, hold on. Mm-hmm. I'm having this discussion because you and I know that, but the vast majority of our audience does not. Okay. What would happen every 7 years? So let's say I owed you...
Only for Jewish slaves, not for non-Jewish slaves.
Let's say I owed you $6 million.
Only for Jewish slaves, not non-Jewish slaves.
What would happen for Jewish slaves?
For Jewish slaves, so there's the Shemitah, which is like every 7 years, and then there's the Jubilee. With the 7 years, I think what they did was you let the slave go, you punched a hole, and if you wanted to keep working for you, you punched a hole in his ear.
Right. You take the all, you bring it into the door, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What would happen if you kidnapped a person and sold him?
I don't know. What would happen if you kidnapped a person?
The kidnapper and the buyer would both be executed. Exodus chapter 21.
Okay.
So hold on for a second. Because I'm not a fan of all the laws in the Old Testament, and neither was Jesus, by the way. Neither was Jesus. But what I'm saying is, when you just throw out slavery, the vast majority of our audience is thinking transatlantic slave trade, and you and I both know that that's dishonest. That's not how not how slavery operated in the A&E.
You could purchase a slave that was not Jewish from some slave trade, and you had a
Where?
Non-Jewish slave for life, and you could do whatever you want with them.
Where?
In the Old Testament.
You just go willy-nilly and purchase them anywhere.
You can purchase a slave.
Where?
You're allowed to purchase a slave according to God in the Old Testament.
Where?
Well, I don't understand the question.
I want the context of the passage you're referring to.
I don't have the specific context. I'm telling you what the law is. The law is absolutely that you could purchase a slave if you wanted to. A non-Jewish slave you can purchase. If you take over a country, you can...
So I'm supposed to take your word for it.
Well, you're the one who's supposed to have, all these at your fingertips.
I do. That's why I quoted Exodus 21 to you, my man, about the death penalty for kidnapping and selling a slave.
I don't want to bore the audience with having to jump on Google and find these specific...
Okay. So you're making pronouncements. You just don't have the facts. I understand.
No, it's true. It's absolutely true.
So what you're saying, what you're telling the audience is they should...
I'll give you another one. Forget slavery for a second. I'll give you another one.
Okay, hold on for 1 second. Second. What you've just demonstrated, let's pull back here.
Yeah.
You said that Christianity had horrific things. Then we talked about Jesus. The worst that you had was
Abrahamic religion.
You talked about Jesus. The worst you could have was hand washing, and then you admitted you don't really know much about Jesus. Then we talked about slavery. You then admitted that the slavery idea was much more complex than what the average person thinks. Then you threw out an idea and you had no reference point for it. Now we're jumping to another topic. Okay, what's the next topic we're jumping to?
You're being silly. Okay.
I'm not being silly. I'm summarizing what you're talking about.
Huh?
I'm summarizing our interaction for the last 20 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay. 1 second. Okay, so let's say a girl, right? A 6-year-old girl is raped, right?
Uh-huh.
What's the law in the Old Testament with regards to punishment?
If she cries out, and if she cries out in the open field and they catch the guy, he gets a death penalty.
No.
Okay.
Incorrect.
Okay.
If somebody rapes a girl, a virgin, he must marry the girl if the father wants him to marry the girl. Otherwise, he pays the father.
Can I look at some passages?
Sure.
Instead of just making stuff up?
I'm not making anything up.
Because when I talk about the Bible, because hold on, I said that if she cries out in the open field and they catch him, he gets the death penalty. You said no. Right. You said no.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
You said no.
Yeah.
Now, are you saying that what I just said wasn't true?
No. What I'm saying is that that's one specific instance. If she cries out in the field and they catch him. There are other instances where a guy rapes a girl. In every other instance, the punishment is you marry the girl.
So you're agreeing that there is a category for the death penalty for rape in the Old Testament?
Sure.
Okay. So, and then there's another category in which she has sex and then they get married.
No, she gets raped.
Okay.
The rapist must marry the girl.
What's the passage?
Okay, I'll have to look it up.
Is this another passage you don't have the reference point to?
I don't have exact passages right off the top of my head. I haven't learned this stuff in many years.
Okay.
Hold on. But I'll find it.
So just for the audience, Deuteronomy 22:25. But if
22, 28 through 29.
Hold on, I'm just reading the passage. But if if out in the country a man happens to meet a young woman pledged to be married and he rapes her, only the man that has done this shall die. Deuteronomy chapter 22 verse 25. So we have a category. We have a category for the
28 through 29.
So we have a category for the death penalty in the Old Testament for rape. We agree?
Sure.
Okay. So Deuteronomy chapter what now?
28 through 29.
Okay, read it.
If a man encounters a young woman, a virgin, who is not engaged, takes hold of her, and he rapes her, and they are discovered, the man who raped her must give the young woman's father 50 silver shekels, and she must become his wife because he violated her. He cannot divorce her as long as he lives.
Okay. So how would you put those two passages together? Because they're written in the same book.
I don't know. It's not. I mean, the whole idea of that this is a thing that a benevolent creator made as a rule is absolutely asinine to me. That I can believe that a benevolent creator can say, if there's a 6-year-old girl who got raped.
Well, you're just
the man who raped her has to marry her. Who's getting punished? The 6-year-old girl is getting punished.
You're adding the term 6-year-old, aren't you? Because that's not in there.
I understand, but I'm putting it into context so you can understand how awful this rule is.
No, because it specifically speaks about her being pledged to be married, doesn't it?
No, it says who is not engaged.
Right. It's talking about her engagement status, right?
Yes, so she's not engaged. A 6-year-old girl who is not engaged. I'm sorry I didn't make that clear.
Why do you keep saying 6-year-old girl? It's 6-year-old. Read the passage again.
Because this applies to a 6-year-old as well. I'm saying
it
applies to a 16-year-old too, but it applies to a 6-year-old as well.
No,
it doesn't apply to a 3-year-old girl or younger.
Okay, where are you getting this? Because you're adding all of this to the passage.
In the Talmud.
Okay, what is the Hebrew word for rape in that passage? Do you know?
I don't. Not off the top of my head.
Okay, do me a favor. Tell us the passage again, please. What was the passage?
If a man encounters a young woman...
What's the location?
I'm not finished.
What's the location? Is it Deuteronomy what chapter?
Oh, 28 through 29. Deuteronomy 22, 28 through 29.
Okay, that's what I needed. And young woman means 6-year-old.
No, young woman means basically a virgin who is not engaged. That's what young woman means.
Go ahead.
Okay, so a 6-year-old falls into that category, correct?
No, a 6-year-old doesn't fall in that category because I'm going to give you the Hebrew words in a second. But go ahead.
Sure. If a man encounters a young woman, a virgin who is not engaged, takes hold of her and rapes her, and they are discovered, the man who raped her must give the young woman's father 50 silver shekels, and she must become his wife because he violated her.
Okay.
He cannot divorce her as long as he lives.
What is the Hebrew word for rape there?
You asked me. I don't know.
Okay.
I can look it up if you'd like.
It simply means to have sexual relations. As a matter of fact, the King James translates it as "and he lie with her."
Hold on. I'm looking it up.
Are you aware of that? Were you aware of that?
That what?
That the King James translates it simply as "and he lies with her"?
I don't know how the King James translates anything. I'm coming to you from the perspective of having read this in the original Hebrew 1,000,000 years ago and being horrified. Hold on.
The word simply means to lie down, doesn't it?
I don't understand. Like, you mean to know her? Like, in the biblical sense? What's the difference?
No, the Hebrew word is shakav, and it simply means to lie down.
Okay.
Doesn't it?
Whatever. What's the difference? What's
Okay.
the point?
So if he lays hold of her and lies down with her, and she is not pledged to be married, it doesn't necessarily mean that he raped her, does it? It simply means that they had...
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there, because I'm telling you that I learned this in the original 1,000,000 years ago, I admit, and I learned this not just the original Hebrew from the Torah, but also with all the exegesis, however you say that, the Talmudic explanations and all of that stuff.
Okay.
And it specifically talks about rape.
Okay.
It's absolutely referring to rape.
Okay, my brother.
Yeah.
This is Strong's Lexicon H7901, Shakav. I'm giving an actual reference that people can look at for themselves. The word simply means to lie down. What is your reference to make your point that this is actual rape? You don't have one, do you? Okay, let me harmonize the two.
Say what you want, but that's exactly what it's talking about. Like, if you look it up, everybody looks at it as rape.
No.
Everywhere you encounter that specific passage, everybody translates it as he raped.
You're wrong. I just gave you a major translation that translates it as simply lie down with.
I don't have the King James.
So what you just said is literally untrue.
Hold on.
Get a King James and go to that passage. And then while you're at it, I'm going to harmonize both of those passages. In the Deuteronomy passage where it gives the death penalty for the rapist, that's in the event that he's forcing himself on the young lady. She cries out, and the man gets the death penalty. In the other passage, it's two teenagers, and she's not obliged to marry anybody, so she's not committing adultery. It's two teenagers who got caught in the backwoods, and now the law is saying you have to marry her and you can't divorce her for the rest of her life.
Okay, so
that's what's happening.
The King James version. You have to understand that, first of all, King James version is a translation of a translation of a translation. And I'm telling you that in the original Hebrew, it's specifically talking about rape. It's not talking about, they just had sex.
My brother.
It's talking about rape.
My brother, I gave you the reference point for the Hebrew word. It's shakav. I didn't make it up. And I also...
I'm going to look it up.
Go look up shakav. It's used 48 times for sleep, 43 times for lie down, 3 times for rest, twice for lean, etc. It's used 106 times in the HB.
I'm looking. Hold on. I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
Chapter 22. Chapter 22. Going now. What happened? Hold on. Chapter 22. Okay. 28. No, it does not use that word. It says, Kiyimsa ish na'ara besula, asher lo arasa v'tapasha v'shachav ima v'nimtsa.
You just said shakav. You just said shakav, didn't you?
Yes, v'shachav. Yes, correct.
Okay. What does shakav mean?
They're referring to him having sex.
What does shakav mean, brother?
Literally lie.
Thank you.
Okay.
Golly. Okay, so listen. In Deuteronomy 25, when the man forces himself on the young lady, she cries out, the death penalty ensues, because that is rape. In the other passage, he simply lies down with her, and then his responsibility is to take care of her for the rest of their lives because she wasn't engaged and they're therefore married. Okay. That's the point.
So you're incorrect. That's not true. That's not how it's... That might be how it's written. In other words, like in the Bible, it says that, Adam knew Eve, but you know that it means he had sex with Eve?
My brother.
This is specifically referring to rape.
My brother. Shakav is used 106 times in the Hebrew Bible, isn't it?
That's fine.
And are you saying in every single instance it means rape?
No. What I'm telling you is that there are a lot of words with a lot of different meanings in the Bible.
My brother.
It's a question of what it's specifically talking
about.
And what context.
My brother, let's review this.
Yeah.
You initially said the word literally means rape. You then said no major translation. Hold on. The video will be published. The video will be published because maybe you were getting a little emotional. You forgot what you said. Then you said no major translation has it as anything other than that. I then explained to you that you were wrong on both counts. Now you went and looked it up. You read the Hebrew very nicely. I had to point out to you that you said the word shakav, and then you admitted that the literal word simply means to lie down. And instead of saying, you know what, okay, I was wrong, you're saying, well, no, believe me, it means rape. Doesn't mean rape, sir.
No,
I'm sorry.
I'm telling you how it's looked at from the Jewish perspective always. It's looked at rape. It's not looked at as they just happened to have sex and they got caught. That's not what it's talking about.
My brother, I'm sorry, but I can give you dozens of commentators who completely disagree with you. I can source them. I don't need to do that because I gave you the specific address to find the word. Here's the point. They're in the same book of Deuteronomy, a few chapters later, it specifically denotes an instance of rape and the guy gets the death penalty. Moses knew what he was doing. There's a difference between two 16-year-olds in the backfield and then other people who are forcing themselves on women. I'm sorry, you got no case.
Okay, if you say so.
Okay, well, the passage says so.
I'm telling you how it's always been used.
No,
and how it's always been looked at in Jewish law.
My brother, you're telling me how atheists use it because they don't know the original languages. You, however, do know the original language, so shame on you. But this is something that atheists trot out all the time. They always fall into this trap, and I'm surprised that you fell into the trap. But the facts.
I'm falling into a trap. I'm telling you what I've learned as a young adult in yeshiva. I'm telling you how it was how it was translated and how it was used, what the law is in the Talmud.
My brother, you and I, hold on. You and I both know there's an oral law and the written law, right?
That's right.
Okay. So
the oral law explains the written law, right?
Well, that is a certain paradigm that came up well later. That wasn't the paradigm at the time of inscripturation. Sorry. You know that and I know that. Don't you have a lot of knowledge that these people don't have, right? So don't try that.
Don't try what?
What we're talking about is what the original language says and what major translations say about that specific text. If some sick bastard wants to justify raping people, like I said,
no, it's not a sick bastard. I'm saying that
it is, because you put 6-year-old in there, that wasn't there, and then you put rape in there, and that wasn't there. So you're importing into the text something that wasn't there.
Some sick bastard. I'm saying the oral tradition, like the rabbis.
They were, hey,
2,000 years ago, 2,500 years ago, and 1,500 years ago. Those guys who
they were sick.
The oral tradition.
My brother, if they used that to justify raping a girl, they were sick. The text.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
We agree. You're right.
I agree, but we also agree the text does not say that.
I will give you that. It says lies with her.
Thank you.
I will give you that it says lies with her in the original text.
Thank you. You also agree that there was a death penalty for rape, wasn't there? Same book.
For a specific type of rape, yes, absolutely.
It says forces himself onto her.
Yeah.
Okay. So my point is, this was a very well clear-cut idea. Dudes, you don't get to willy-nilly have sex with a girl in the backseat of your truck. If you do that, you're going to have to stay with her for the rest of your life. Okay. By the way, if you assault a girl and she cries out and we find you, we're going to throw rocks at your head until you're dead.
That's fine.
That's the law. Okay. All right. That's why there was no Me Too movement in the Old Testament, because you got handled if you did some shit like that. And by the way, here's the last paradigm.
I like your interpretation, but that's not what happened up until whenever. Like people were.
Let me ask you a question.
People were actually punished. Like the laws were actually that rapists were paying their rapey's father.
My brother.
They were married to them.
My brother. When Jesus showed up, there's a reason that the religious leaders killed him, is because he called them out for bullshit like that. But
I'm just saying, my whole point is that the morality that came out of the Abrahamic religions are not good morality.
Hey, my brother, wait a second.
Yeah.
If they would have interpreted the passage literally, it wouldn't have done that, would it?
Say that again?
If they would have interpreted Moses literally,
okay,
they wouldn't have been doing that, would they?
Okay, but you can't.
It's a yes or no question. Yes or no?
No, I agree. I'm saying if they just interpreted Moses's the Pentateuch's words straight out the way it was, yes, I agree with
Okay, now let me ask you another question. What would have happened to a rapist if they would have interpreted Moses' law literally?
With a rapist?
Yeah.
That was found in the field and the girl screamed out, they would have killed him.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I'm just saying that so, first of all, if you look at the 5 books, there are a lot of things that need explanation. You don't know what it is unless there's explanation. That's where the whole oral law comes from, right?
No, I dispute that.
What are phylacteries? It says, you should put tefillin on your head and on your hand. What are those? I don't know what that is, right? It talks about putting tzitzis on the corners of your garments. What are those? It doesn't explain it. It just tells you that's what you should do. The oral tradition tells you what those things are.
I disagree with that.
Oh, really?
I disagree with that.
What are tefillin?
What I'm saying is your whole paradigm for exegeting a text, where we need a sort of a magisterial authority to explain to us what it actually means and that we have to follow them. I completely reject that idea.
That what? That what? Say that again.
That we need some sort of magisterial authority to help us understand what the Torah is saying. I don't believe
I'm
that.
telling you what the Jews thought.
You're telling me what a specific line of Judaism teaches.
Yes.
You know very well that Reformed Jews don't believe that.
No, that's not true. Because the tefillin that the Reformed Jews put on, if and when they ever do it, which is just by their bar mitzvah and that's it,
Right.
but not the point. But they use the same exact tefillin that Orthodox Jews use, and they have the same passages in it that Orthodox Jews use, but the only place they would have gotten that from is from the oral tradition.
Who are closer to the sages, the Hasidim or Reformed Jews?
I don't think either one of them are.
Who's closer?
Let's say the Hasidim.
Okay, so that right there shows you. Now, if you were one of those folks, would you say that the Reformed Jews are following the sages?
I would. So, what I'm trying to say, I'm not saying.
Can you answer that? Can you answer that question?
Yes, I would say they are not.
Okay. So not everybody who's considered a Jew even has that paradigm. Look, I got to go. One last thing.
Uh-huh.
One last thing when it talks about sexual assault in the Old Testament.
Sure.
The sons of Jacob had a sister named Dinah.
Yes, Dina.
Dina, sorry.
Uh-huh. No worries.
Thank you for that. No, thank you for that.
No, my pleasure.
I was actually talking
I
about...
like talking to you. You're an intelligent guy, so, I appreciate it.
I was talking to a Palestinian girl today. Her name was Dina. Very ironic. Okay, so what happened with Dina?
They went and they slaughtered all these people because she was supposedly raped.
The Shechemites, right?
Shechem, yeah.
Went over and they raped her.
Yeah.
So then, her brothers, and what does Moses say in verse 7? He says, because he had done an outrageous thing in Israel by doing this to Jacob's daughter, for such a thing must not be done, right?
Okay.
Then they go out and they murk the entire city, right?
Okay, yeah.
They killed everybody.
That seems like a pretty good moral thing to learn.
No, it was.
My sister, so I'm going to kill everybody in the city, including babies.
Hold on for a second. For a second. So they kill everybody in the city. Yeah. Jacob says, what the fuck? Everybody's going to be mad at us. How do the sons respond?
Tell me, Ben, how did the sons respond?
They said, should we let them treat our sister like a prostitute?
Okay.
Here's my point.
Yeah.
That story is told because it sets up the rape law later on, which is, this is an outrageous thing to sexually assault a woman. This should not be done, and people need to die for it. However, we're not going to kill the whole fucking city. We're just going to kill the guy that did it. So the Old Testament God's idea of sexual assault is that the person who does it needs to die. So let's just be clear on this, that if you treat a woman that way, the God of the Old Testament says that you die. So I think it's really dishonest for somebody who, if after this conversation...
Well, I'm telling you what the laws that were followed were, what they actually did.
My brother,
Yeah. I agree with you. If that's God's intention, and good, fine. Kill
okay.
Them. Awesome. I'm good. I'm all for killing rapists. I'm good with that.
Okay. All right.
I'm telling you that, the Jewish religion, their laws, based on the verse that I told you, were different than what we're talking about.
My brother,
they made a distinction between those two, instances of rape.
My brother.
They made a distinction. But the thing you brought up about going and killing everybody in the city because somebody raped their sister, that's not exactly,
No, that's not good.
A great moral lesson.
It says in
God was pissed off at some guys, so he killed everybody.
No, well, hold on. I agree with you that
bit much.
I agree. There's a passage in the Quran that says Allah does not love those who exceed the limits. He's talking about warfare. I agree with you that the sons of Jacob went too far in defending the honor of their sister.
Okay. But it's presented as a good thing.
No, it's just presented as a thing. As a matter of fact, you remember when Jacob was dying and he was blessing his sons, the ringleaders of the jihad were called men of violence, and Jacob cursed them as he was dying for what they did to those people. So it's not presented as a good thing. But what it does do is set up the law where Moses says, it's outrageous, it's terrible, we don't treat women like that, but we're not going to murk the entire village for it. We're only going to kill one guy. Because Moses wrote the entire Torah, and the narrative fits with the law perfectly. That's what I'm saying. So I don't believe that it was presented as a good thing.
Okay.
Now, I'll tell you something. I got a sister. She's in New York City. Some dude tried to do that to my sister. Now, I'm a pacifist because I'm trying desperately to live like Jesus.
Me too, and I kill her. I killed the dude. I agree with you.
I'd have I'm trying to believe I wouldn't kill the guy, but there'd be a problem, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I love this discussion. It was very fiery. My brother, I love you. We should talk some more.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Because like you legit were reading that Hebrew, man. I was like, shit, this guy knows his Hebrew. But then I found...
I grew up with it.
Then I found the Shakaf. I said, it's there.
Yeah, no. I mean, like when I read Hebrew, just so you know, when I read Hebrew, it's just like, you just read it. You don't even pay attention to specific words. You read the sentence. You know what I mean?
It just flows. So you said Bethula. I heard Bethula. What does that mean?
So Bethula means it's translated two ways. It's used as either a young girl or a virgin. Those are the two ways that word is used in the Torah.
Okay.
So that's the word for either virgin or young woman.
Awesome. Okay. So you're good with me. Your heart's good with me. You're not mad at me.
Dude, I was never mad at you.
Okay.
Dude,
and my heart's good with you. I love you. I'm not mad at you. I'm just doing this for the audience. I want people to understand.
Yeah, all good.
I want people to understand. Like, people can like...
I love you guys. It's okay for us to disagree.
Right.
Who cares?
Right. And disagree stridently. It doesn't mean that we don't love each other. It just means that, this is what we do.
Absolutely. And the reason you love me, Vin, is because you know that it's good for the entire human race. It's not because of God. It's because you know.
Well, I do love you because of God. And I also believe it's good for the human race. And I also just love your personality, my guy. There's lots of reasons I love you.
You're a good man, my man.
What was it? What's your background? Are you a Jew?
I grew up Orthodox Jew, and I gave it up after learning about a lot of things that just didn't make sense to me. I just couldn't equate a loving, caring, benevolent God with all these, and these are just a few rules that I'm like just remembering from a million years ago. So I know you asked me to like show you, where exactly. I've forgotten way more than you've learned. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a million years.
I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yeah. So whatever. It just turned me off.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that whole thing, and then scientifically and whatever. Like I like to learn. I like to learn from people. I like to learn from things. I'm good with that, and I enjoy our discussions, my man.
Have you called in before ever?
No, first time.
Okay. Yeah, we gotta set something up. I think there's a lot of things we could do here.
All right, then I'll have to do my homework and actually find these things. So you let me know when, and I'll find actual passages, and I'll show you where in the Talmud and all of that stuff. Although I gotta say, I hated doing this when I was a kid. So, but I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you.
All right, good. Maybe you'll find your way back to the truth.
The way I became an atheist was reading the Bible, my friend.
If you read the Bible through the lens of your sages, then I'd have been an atheist too. Good night. Good night.
I hear you, man.
All right, my dude. I appreciate you. I think we're gonna sign off now. Say goodbye to the people.
Take care. Later, y'all. I'm glad I bored the shit out of y'all.
You didn't. They're just stunting because they don't want to admit that they were thrilled by your ability to parse Hebrew words.
I'll talk to you later.
Lying bastards. All right, buddy. Love you. All right, guys. I love all of you. I'm gonna play some Madden now. So if you play Madden 2019, let me know because I'm about to log in right now. I think I'm like Olive something Olive or whatever. So let me know. Vin out. Sori is sleeping. She was snoring, but we were in the middle of the jihad with my buddy, so I wanted to like quiet down and let you guys hear it, but I was in the middle of the throes of war, so I didn't get to do it. Anyway, Madden 2019. Shout out to Mandy Flynn. Shout out to Kellen Dross, my guy. Shout out to Jen G, the big homie. Jen G, eventually we're gonna do that thing whenever you're up to it. Ben, everybody, the big homie KZ. Who else did I want to say goodbye to? Mickey. Yeah, Mickey and everybody else. All right, guys, thank you for sticking with me. I needed the company because today was a freaking terrible day. So thank you guys so much. I am out of here. Goodbye.